Hello, hello, hello. I hope, quick notice. I spent the weekend, well, not the whole weekend, but I spent the weekend as you do, redoing OBS stuff. Because I got a bug, I got a bug up my butt about my OBS setup. Something that ultimately was really not that important, but was important to me at the moment. So, yeah, I spent a lot of time doing that, and I rerouted some of the audio and things like that. So hopefully, I mean, all you should be hearing is the sound of my voice right now and the music at the beginning. But hopefully that's all coming through okay. And hopefully the game stuff, when we get into that, comes through okay too. I tested it. It should be okay, but you never know with these things. Chibi UFO, I appreciate you and Jessica, your movie date Jessica, both joining us live from the theater. What film have you taken Jessica to see this fine evening, if I may ask? If I may be so bold to ask about your movie choices. I try. I feel like I'm really good at reacting. I've gotten really good at the end, reacting to the Jessicas now. Most of the time I hit it. Most of the time I think I get it. Every once in a while I flub it, but most of the time I get it. Oh, the end of Oak Street. Okay, I think I watched a trailer for that one. That looked pretty good. Do you kind, and this is not, I don't mean this in a bad way at all. I'm just asking, do you just like kind of go to see any horror movie that hits the theater and like that's kind of your thing? That's cool if so. I feel like I love horror movies, but I feel like I've just seen too many bad horror movies to like extend myself every time a new one hits the theater. That would just end in too much heartbreak. But hey, if that's like, my brother is kind of the same way. He kind of does that. He goes to see a lot of them because horror is just kind of his big thing, which is great. So I hope that everyone here came prepared tonight because you are about to join a gang. I don't know if you knew this, but you are going to join the Cosmo Gang. The best kind of gang, really. But we're not just going to do the obvious ones. We're not just going to do Cosmo Gang the video and Cosmo Gang the puzzle. Oh no. We're at least going to talk about and show as much as we can show, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a moment, where it all started. We're going to go back to where it all started. And that was not with Cosmo Gang the video, believe it or not. Let's see here. I'm also a huge fan of It Follows. It Follows is an amazing film. All right, let's see if we can get this going here. Oh, we want to be in the other layout. How foolish of me. How foolish of me. Okay, so you might be wondering what in the hell you're about to see here. Well, you see, 1990s Cosmo Gang, also called Cosmo Gangs, if you look at the Japanese title and the side of the cabinet art. Actually, you know what? Before I do this, I apologize. There was something I wanted to show first. I wanted to show it is a mechanical game, and in fact, I'm going to show just that. I've prepared a couple of images for you. So, I have never actually seen this with my own eyes. I hope to change this one day when I've gotten a lead on some places that have an original Cosmo Gangs or gang or whatever you want to call it that I would like to film for a video at some point. But this is just kind of an idea. This was a mechanical game. And what's more, it was what we in the industry call a redemption machine, meaning that you played it and you won tickets based on your score. And of course, you all know you turned in those tickets for, I don't know, going back in my time working in an arcade in the late 90s, what we got? You got Tootsie Rolls, both chocolate and fruit flavored. You got your Jolly Ranchers. You got your bouncy balls and your sticky hands and whatever the hell else, right? Things that would go all the way up to like absolutely exorbitantly highly priced stuffed animals that no one ever actually had enough tickets for. And sometimes I would just give people because I was a teenager working in an arcade and I didn't care about the rules. Probably, but we didn't have army men actually. But I worked at a mall tilt from approximately 96 or 97 to about 2000 or so. So whatever that means. All right, that's Cosmo Gang making some noise here. They are Cosmo Gang. We're gonna turn them down for a second here, as well as in my headphones too. But yeah, they're gonna talk every once in a while. We'll get back to them in a minute. But this was a two-player redemption game, and like I'm sure all of you all have played the game at some point where, I don't know, let's just take for an example here. The one where the guns where you shoot out the clown's teeth. I'm sure you've all seen something similar to that, or like the water gun one where you were, hitting boats and making boats go, or take your pick. There were a million of these, right? But this one, you were shooting the Cosmo Gang as they attempted to steal your little blocks there, which represented energy, because they want energy. That is what the Cosmo Gang is after. And their leader, you can kind of see him. This is not an amazing photo. One day my footage will be better, but their leader is in a little bubble on top of there, and he's the one who's, commanding them to go and steal the energy. They are but his minions. So that's kind of how this works. Pretty simple premise. You can see tickets coming out of the machine there in this particular picture, as it's right next to its Jurassic Park: The Lost World, and something round and round, maybe. We didn't have a round and round. We had to wheel them in. The Whack-A-Gator was the Japanese version of that was called Wani Wani Panic. It was probably called something like Whack-A-Gator. There's Whack-A-Mole, of course, the classic Whack-A-Mole, which is very, very close to Wani Wani Panic. And that's kind of what this game was. And like this is where the Cosmo Gang all began. And so now that we go back to, was it even in the US called Wani Wani Panic? I know I've seen one. It's been so long that I can't remember if they changed the name of it or not. Here comes the Cosmo Gang again. Turn it up a bit. There we go. And they had their voices even in this one, it seems. The thing about this is being emulated in MAME right now, but obviously this is a mechanical game. So I don't even know if you can really call this emulation, right? Because MAME can't emulate mechanical games, not precisely, like not in. I mean, we kind of saw how it did with Punch Mania, right? Like the video game part was all fine, but you can't emulate me shooting a gun and hitting physical things, right? And so the button mapping for this, let's see if it shows up on here. It does. Okay. So I played around with this a little bit, but you can kind of see from MAME's menu, they make it so that you have targets for all 5 lanes, right? So presumably that's approximating moving your gun to one lane. And then you have a button to, your button 1, which is presumably shoot. Well, this doesn't actually seem to work in MAME. I have this mapped and I mean, there's no visual cues, but as far as I can tell, like, for example, I'll hit A and I'll set it to aim at target 1 and I'll hit space and kind of just nothing happens. So I'm thinking that this is not really well approximated in MAME, but I want to show it here first. We have another version of this original mechanical game that we're going to show after. No, I'm not going to come wheeling in a cabinet. I do not own a Cosmo Gang cabinet, unfortunately, though I wish I did. But we have a kind of another way to play this that that actually plays a little bit better, I think, that I recently found out about. But I felt like showing it this way was worth doing. Gianni Pack Nerd. Wani Wani Panic in the US was called Cranky Crabs. Maybe I haven't seen it in the US. Maybe I only have seen it in Japan. I would think I would remember a name like that. And so they talk every once in a while, but we're gonna put in a credit here, and we're just going to sort of see what this does or not does, as the case may be. So you put in a credit. One is to... Oh! I don't think I've heard this before. Cosmo gangs are approaching to the force and go into battle? To the fourth? Well, at any rate, Cosmo gangs are approaching. We're gonna put it on easy. And so here they come. Steal energy. Okay. So, like, you can hear the sound of me firing. Okay, him it worked for, but it's a little inconsistent. Like, I've switched over to some of these other lanes where the Cosmo gang are stealing energy, and it's just kind of, it was kind of not hitting him. Like, it hit him. So I think this is just not emulated well in MAME unless there's something I'm missing. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. But they got the energy, and now they're mocking me. So that's really what the Cosmo gang is all about. But there's one more way I wanna look at this game that I feel like maybe plays a little bit better than how it is in MAME. If anyone knows anything about the MAME version that I'm missing, please let me know. But I played around with it quite a bit over the weekend, and I wasn't really getting, you know, a great experience from it. But we do have kind of another way of playing it. So let me get this one going. There was apparently a DS game that was released both in the US and in Japan. In Japan, it was called Uno no Tatsujin Gun Bulle Trainer. Uno no Tatsujin being like right-brained master. And in the US, it was called Point Blank DS. And this was also from Namco. And so, let me turn up the volume a little bit here. There we go. And in general, it was just kind of a thing full of, you know, silly DS mini games, right? Turn this down if we're gonna have this gunfire. That's annoying. Okay. So yeah, in the US, it was these kind of mini games, right? Kind of like you're seeing here, right? Like, oh, I'm using the DS stylus to hit things and blah, blah, blah. Your typical early DS fare, right? But because this is Namco, there was also another mode on here. And that's what we're interested today. The name here is called Games Museum. And so when you go to Games Museum, you have some sort of weird unlabeled things. One of them is Wani Wani Panic, and maybe we'll play some Wani Wani Panic since we're talking about it. But one of them here, you can barely make it out, but this is Cosmo Gang. Or Cosmo Gangs. Shoot the gangsters in the mouth to stop them from stealing the tanks. If they get away with even one, it's all over. So they specifically say in the mouth. The final boss in the story mode is in Point Blank 2 or 3 on PS1 as well. Really? Okay, I'm gonna have to... Hold on, let me write this down. Point Blank 2 or 3 on PS4, fine. Anything involving the Cosmo Gang, I'm pretty down for. And I do not have much experience with the Point Blank series, I will admit. So I am totally willing to check that out. All right, here they come. So a little bit different. The Japanese voices here, even though this is the... But they're basically saying the same things, right? And so, I guess I really just gotta, like, blast on these guys before they get to the energy, because they're taking varying degrees of hits. But he's already getting away with my energy. So, like, I clearly was not quick enough. But, like, is there anyone who's played the original? Like, is this kind of how this works? Like, they just take, like, a gajillion hits before you can stop one of them? Because at first it was okay, but then it's like, okay, how many times do I have to hit these jerks to get them to let go of my energy? What's up, Maddie? You ready? You ready for the Cosmo Gang? Apparently I'm not, because they kicked my butt. Because I had to shoot him like a million times to even try to get one of them to back off. So I'm gonna give this another go here. Born ready, all right. We'll see about that. All right, so here they come, and like, we're hitting them in the mouth. Maybe my aim is just not good enough. Maybe that's what it is. I gotta go lower than I think. Okay. I see what it was. It's just a little bit touchy about where the mouth is all. So yeah, how even would they would have approximated that in MAME? That's kind of crazy. No wonder it doesn't really work that well. But it works well with a mouse once you actually know where to aim. We're tired. Moichido itte koi! Go and do it again. We don't want to get let any of them get too close to the energy here. I don't know what they want energy for, maybe to power their UFO. I don't think that's actually been established in the Cosmo Gang lore. Ah! Get away. Oh, they got tired just before they reached it. Oh, this is their final attack, okay. Hi! Oh, they're moving faster, that's for sure. Mouse! No! Don't touch my energy! Don't you do it! There we go. They got none of it this time. Come in there, come in there. It's showtime! So what, are they just doing a dance now that they've lost? Oh my god. That's amazing. You'll hear some of the same speech in the Super Famicom, or sorry, the arcade game even. So yeah, while we're here, and since we were talking about, that is galactic dancing. You're right in the neighborhood. You're right in the neighborhood. All right, before we leave and we go to the probably the one that people have been waiting for, you know what? We were talking about Wani Wani Panic. Let's play a credit of Wani Wani Panic. This will probably hit some memories. Hit the gators with the stylus before they bite you. Hit more than 40 and angry gators will counterattack. I did not do too well on this with a mouse. I do much better with a mallet, but we'll see. I don't know that I got more than 40. I think I ended up with a game over. Eat it! Eat it! Yeah, when they start coming out like more than one at a time. Yeah, keep getting that same one out. That's fine with me. Ah! And when they're on opposite sides, and when there's 3 of them... There we go. Ah, coot! Okay. Not doing terrible so far. We got 40. Okotazo. Oh god, and then here they all come, and you're just supposed to, like, go crazy with that mallet, right? It's much more satisfying with a mallet than it is a mouse, I can tell you that much. But I'm sure you've all played, you know, a version of this, right? Like, if nothing else, you've played, Mada Mada Amai. If nothing else, you've played Whack-A-Mole, right? Which is very similar. It's just with moles coming up out of the ground, right? Yeah, oh, totally. With your hands, yeah, you can just go all over the place. And because probably you don't need to hit them very hard. I'm a good boy, and I've never actually used my hands on Wani Wani Panic before. But I imagine you don't actually need to, like, smack them too hard to trigger the sensors. I imagine probably just touching them was good enough. So it shows an error message. If you get the max score, that's interesting. So maybe they assumed people could only get it if they were cheating and using their hands or whatever. That's very interesting. But yeah, so that's, I would recommend picking this up if you want to play a version of Wani Wani Panic or Cosmo Gang as opposed to trying to play it in MAME, because again, maybe there's something I don't understand, but it's just, it didn't really seem to work all that well. You can't really seem to be able to hit anything. So that there is still a way to play it, kind of, sort of. I think I had identified an arcade in Atlanta. I haven't checked up with them, but there seems to be an arcade in Atlanta that I don't recall the name of that I guess has an actual Cosmo Gang machine. So one day I will get to that. But let's change up the game here. They were common in UK European arcades as well. Yeah, I assume they were just shoo-ins, like, for anywhere. I assume they were probably popular the world over, because, like, who doesn't want to hit things with a mallet, right? Like, mallets are the universal language, really, when you stop and think about it, aren't they? All right, but a couple years later, so the Cosmo Gang sort of lie dormant for the rest of, or we don't know when that original machine came out in 1990. It's just a lot of these arcade machines, like, they just have a year. No one was really tracking when Redemption games came out, so, like, it's just a flat 1990. Might have been late, might have been early, I don't really know. But in 1992, we actually got another arcade game. Let's see here. This is going to be interesting if this will work in this one or not. Give me a moment. Let's see. RetroArch. Do I have RetroArch set up for this view of it? Or do I have to go to 4x3 for this? I might have to go to 4x3 for this. But let's see. And now can I go to 3x4 now and get it, or do I not? Okay. Well, this is maybe not optimal for Cosmo Gang, the video, but it is what it is. We'll do it this way, and we'll just have a little bit of extra dead space. Belly Bomber, the arcade sequel to this, is much rare. Belly Bomber. Hold on, I have to look up what Belly Bomber is now. Oh, I see. Yeah, this is what, wow, it even, hold on, let me grab an image here, and I'll actually share this with the group. Hold on a second. Let me save this off, because this is relevant. I did not know anything about this one. Let me go quickly back into OBS, and let me go into images, go into our image slideshow, and add this guy to the group, because this is pretty fascinating looking, I will say. Okay, so let me switch this back to images. I said chat images. Okay, so let's take a look at this real fast while we're on the subject. So this is the flyer for Belly Bomber, which was just pointed out. And yeah, you can kind of see that it is very much a sequel. It's got those lanes. It looks like you're just trying to hit this dude in the belly, though. I don't know that I can, the way I'm sharing this, I don't know that I can really zoom in on it. But I will read to you the text that is on the flyer. It says, Belly Bomber is the most innovative and unique redemption game to come along in years. A game of fast action that provides fun, excitement, and challenge for players of all ages. Belly Bomber has the features of a hit. Belly Bomber has the features of a hit. That's a sentence. It will be a great addition to your operation for a long, long time. Link up to 2 units for competitive action. Okay, so it is it's 1 person per unit. And it's adjustable ticket payout to maximize profits, and then it just gives the dimensions, and it's from Namco, the game creator. So fascinating. I do not think I ever saw this one. This one looks like it came out in 1994 for like a full 4 years after the original one. Huh. Okay. Let me get our next game going here. Let's see. Okay. Let me switch this back. Where am I going here? We're going to do this in 4x3, which is not the ideal way to do it, but I'll make sure OBS gets added, or sorry, I'll make sure RetroArch gets added to 4x3 in the future. And yeah, the volume on this is quite loud. So we're going to put it about there. By the way, so that I have license to blame this on my stick if it doesn't work, I'm using a new stick today. This isn't like a new stick that I just got. It's a stick that I've actually had for a long time. But I'm trying out more compact ones because my other ones are quite big. Take up a lot of room in bags and whatnot. And so I've got a custom one that I did a while back, a Monster Hunter stick, actually. It's got Naruga Kuruga on there, and you know the custom ball top and buttons and stuff like that to kind of match it. I'm a big Monster Hunter guy, and so I've had this kicking around for a while. It has kind of an older board in it that I should probably update at some point, but it works fine on a PC right now. So we're going with something a little smaller. And if I do badly, it's the stick's fault. It's not, because I can get up to a point in this game. Like, this game seems very, very easy at first, but it's incredibly deceptive. Once it gets into the 20s, I would say, it gets pretty rough. And yep, they're still out to steal energy, but they only do it in the bonus stages this time around. But let's get this going here. All right, and I mean, it's a Galaga-like, as you can see, right? Very, very similar on the surface sort of tactics to Galaga. And you'll have, enemies that come rushing down here, just like in Galaga. And you kind of, generally speaking, want to stick to the center, I would say, and this kind of do micro movements as needed, because if you do these wide sweeping movements, it's really easy to trap yourself, I feel. And then you want to prioritize the guys that are swooping down on you again, just like Galaga. And the Cosmo Gang boss in there usually has power-ups and armor and things like this. So you want to always prioritize kind of getting him out of there as well. And yeah, at first it's just like, okay, great, this is easy, this is cake. But just you wait. You're gonna see me credit feed before too long. I tried to learn it a little bit better, but I think I probably need more time than I gave myself to really be able to pull off any type of, meaningful 1cc or anything like that, right? So it's not easy. No, don't want him when he's diving like that. So, like, learning how to control situations to not be in too much risk, easier said than done, especially when you get the terrible, terrible enemy types that come later. And you get these power-ups and temporary power-ups that sort of like stun the crew here. Oh! Okay. Death right at the end.
Okay, you guys, steal energy.
And now these are the bonus levels where we're kind of doing the same thing we were in that Redemption game, right? We're knocking them away. We automatically shoot them in the mouth, so we don't really need to worry about aiming or anything like that. But we want them to not, you know, come up and grab our energy. We can help it, and we get more points for it. Yeah, I actually sometimes get it confused with Space Invaders Attack of the Lunar Loonies, which is a game I've not played all that much. Nicely done. We didn't get great, though. I give up. We're playing the English version here, but obviously we heard the Japanese voices last time. And so you kind of get an idea of what those sound like. But I did die, unfortunately, last level, way earlier than I had planned to. So my power-ups reset. But yeah, I mean, you get your power-ups back fairly quickly is the thing about this game. So, like, death is not, you know, this isn't Gradius, right? Death is not, like, the end of everything. And you get these little visual cues, too, if you haven't noticed. Like, these brights, like these shiny spots in the background that will appear to, like, clue you in on where the Cosmo Gang are coming in from, which is kind of neat. Because I would say more so than in Galaga, the thing about this game is that things get a little more frantic. So you really, to a degree, especially in the later levels, need to kind of do a little bit of memorization as to where things are coming from. It's not all just reaction. I mean, a large part of it is certainly still reaction, don't get me wrong. And sort of like Space Invaders, you can only have so many shots on the screen at once. So you're not actually benefiting that much from, you know, any type of auto fire or anything like that. I'm just mashing down here. I don't have any type of auto fire on at all, and I'm very pro auto fire in games in general. But in games like this, where like the shots you have on screen are limited, auto fire's not doing much for you, I'm afraid. Ah, and see, that's the risk-reward type thing, right? Where it's like, I tried to get him, I probably overextended myself, and I went in a little bit lower than I should have. That would definitely have been overextending myself. Red Spectra, hello. You are an honorary member of the Cosmo Gang. Welcome. We played, oh boy, already I'm on a credit. Okay, well, you know what? I've got no designs about a 1cc on this, so maybe one day. We'll get there. Yep, I give up. We definitely want him because, and these guys who shoot lasers are kind of like nightmare enemies. As you can see from that. That's why they're nightmare enemies. I'm so sorry, but at least they're kind enough to apologize. We gotta at least give them that, right? And you can kind of squeeze up against the screen there a little bit to try and dodge those shots, but I kind of did the thing that I said not to do, which is corner myself. Because you got nowhere to move from that corner, right? So you always kind of want to try and move back to the middle when you can, and not keep yourself sandwiched over on a side. And then the real trick, though, is like when these guys are at play and their laser beams are just make things nightmarish. Ah! Okay. That's another credit, right? Yep, alright. I'm feeding tonight. Forgive me. And again, that was a little bit riskier than I probably ought to have been. But, and we'll kind of not be quite as risky there. It is even cute, and I love Galaga 90. I'm a huge Galaga 90 fan. But yeah, this is kind of where it's at, I think, as far as that goes. The cuteness to shooting ratio, if you will. Yeah, you're so sorry. Get out of here with that laser. And you got things like shields, as you can see there. But, like, managing the guys with the lasers and the other shots, that's more difficult than it looks. It doesn't seem like it would be too much of anything. But it is. And then we got these big, inflatable guys here who are kind of getting in the way. And those guys with the lasers take many hits. Which makes dealing with them even worse. But that's not even the worst of the enemies. And now, so we got like a Bandito theme going on here. So like, the Cosmo Gang has all sorts of different wonderful costumes that they like to come out dressed in, which I really appreciate. I mean, who doesn't love a cowboy? A cowboy alien, I should say. And we kept him away pretty handily there.
We'll win next time.
We'll win next time. Good work. All right, and even though I've gone through a couple of credits, we're still kind of on easy street. That was just me not paying attention. We're still kind of on easy street for the most part. The things haven't really ratcheted up yet, if you can believe it. The other lesson that I still have to teach myself sometimes is don't let yourself die for power-ups. It's just not worth it. I mean, that's the thing that I just did right there. So, you know, do as I say and not as I do. But, and the dragons are also kind of a nightmare as well, in their own way. Oh my god, that was way too risky. I should not have done that. And they stop when they're about to breathe fire. Yeah, I don't have any designs on getting, like, on trying to perfect the bonus round. I'm sure they made that way more difficult than it needs to be. And we got, like, and we got the containers! Ah, yes, the containers that explode. So, like, they really start throwing shit at you here now, as you can see. Like, it's pretty rough. And, like, you gotta dodge those container shots, or just blow them up preemptively. You know, either know their patterns or kind of blow them up preemptively. It's definitely a game you can get with practice, but I am not quite there yet. But I wanna be, that's the thing. Because I like what this game is doing. It's kind of a little extra something, you know, on top of like a Galaga, which I appreciate. Yo, Little Terror, you are an honorary member of the Cosmo Gang, and no, you do not have a choice in the matter. You're in, and we got the big inflatable guys again, also with dragons. which is not great. Ah! See, that's kind of the danger of making, like, those wider, sweeping movements, I would say, is it's easy to overcommit. Very easy to overcommit. And then you get between, you know, some dragon fire and regular shots, and it's just like, what? What even am I supposed to be doing here? It gets pretty frantic. All right. Get one of them at least. Oh, there we go. You finished all the videos! Oh my god, how long did it take you to get through all of them? That's it seems like it would have taken a while. Though maybe not. Depending on, like, I mean, I guess not a lot of them are very long, right? So, probably just in terms of raw time, it likely wasn't too bad. Oh. And ideally... Yeah, there we go. I give up. Well, working out, nice. I'm a big supporter of content like that for workouts and things like this. It's gotta, I don't know about you, but I am a person who, like, it's very difficult for me to remain mentally engaged while working out, like, even with music, even with podcasts, even with whatever. Like, that's the biggest challenge I have with a workout, is my brain is just like, this is boring. Even though I know it's good for me and I know I should do it. Just like, but boring! I wonder why it takes kind of like a long time between lives to respawn. I wonder if there's a reason for that. Alright, those dragons are bad news. Yep, that's what we wanted. Get rid of them dragons, even though I didn't get rid of the dragons, I got rid of everything else but the dragons. Ah! Oh no, okay. Come on, there we go, there's one. Even though the net's not gonna do me a whole lot at this particular point. Your reward for working out? Yeah, it's good to have a reward system. Gives you something to look forward to. And we got missiles. I thought I could make it under that. Clearly I was wrong. Yeah, we looked at the flyer for Belly Bomber a minute ago, but I didn't realize... I guess I didn't clock that those were the dragons from this game. That's crazy. So I guess that Namco had a little more faith in the Cosmo Gang than I thought. Yeah, I am not doing amazing on the bonus stage, that's for sure. Especially when it gets up to this point. Oh god. Leave my flowers alone. Those aren't energy, they're just flowers. What are you even doing?
We'll win next time.
No, you won't. Well, actually, you might. I definitely did not get as good of a... Yeah, try harder. Thank you. Thank you, game. I appreciate that. Try harder. And this is where shit kind of starts to get real, as if it wasn't real enough already, right? But, because it just starts to get a lot quicker. Even more annoying enemies come along, if you can believe that. There we go. 22, I think, is where I really start to be like, okay, and here's 22. 22 is where I feel like this game really starts to kick your ass. Personally. Okay, that was, again, me just not paying enough attention, despite the fact that I had a power-up. I had to save state and redo this level so many times, as well as some of the later ones, which will no doubt credit feed our way through. This is where I really had to learn the lesson that I apparently have not actually learned, which was, don't, like, if you think you can make it under things in time, you can't. Because they just start moving really fast when they're in those groups. And so I believe I had to go, yep, okay. I can't believe I actually managed that. That's better than I thought I would do on that the first go around. All right, come on, turn into the thing. There you, oh, okay. There we go, that works. All right, that's significantly less trouble than I had with 22 my first run through, I will say. Oh, hello. All right. So, like, you get the hell out of here, because you're just gonna cause me endless amounts of trouble. You and the dragon. Oh, God, and the laser beam guy. Holy hell. Like, this is serious. This sucks. Like, this is a lot of shit on screen right now. You really, really would hope for a power-up. Or some type of, you know, the net or whatever at this point, because, like, it's just a lot to dodge. I probably just needed to do a better job of controlling it early on. And that would have been easier, but I was probably focusing on the wrong things. All right, now the eggs, ideally, you're supposed to leave them so you can control spawns. Ideally. But I think I've broken them all. Or the dragons have broken out themselves or something. And the Cosmo Gang boss is up, and we just got all kinds of stuff going on here. Okay. Why did I even try to do that? It's like the reflexes kick in every once in a while, right? Like, you know you shouldn't even be trying something. And yet you do anyway. I don't know what I was supposed to do there. I'd cornered myself a little too early. Try and get rid of these dragons since they're... Yeah, like, I think I just moved over to the side a little too quickly there. There we go. This guy is just... There we go. And it just keeps getting worse, especially when we get up to, like, 29, for example. Like, 29 is just... It's pretty brutal. And pretty much everything from there out is brutal. As we got all the things here, all the crates, or whatever you want to call them, which are just continuously spawning, more or less. And so you're always trying to dodge those as well and be, you know, in line. Wow, I can't believe I did that as nicely as I did. Something to make up for my plethora of mistakes that have happened so far, I suppose. Okay, no. Okay, we had a group coming down and also... I mean, as with most shooters, the real good strategy is just don't die, because... Well, actually, that doesn't even really work in this game, because your power-ups reset every bonus stage. So, like, you're back to single shot after the Cosmo Gang bonus stage every single time. Which is unfortunate, but it's the way it is. Should have kept moving left, I guess. I was looking up at the eggs that time and not actually, Okay. Alright, let's see here. Oh, God. Alright. We're really gonna start feeding for the end here, but I do want to show the last boss. Maybe when we get to the port, we won't go as far as the last boss or anything, but... And the ideal time to really hit these guys is when they're about to do that, and not be hit by their fire, of course. You don't really want that part to happen. But if you hit them as they're about to blow, you can kind of cancel it, as you can see there. See if I can... Oh, he's just gonna hang out up here. Ah, didn't get there in time. We've got more dragons still, so it's fine. Alright, 28. There's a 1-up. The 1-ups are, I believe, are fixed on certain stages, if I remember correctly. But yeah, there's only, I think, 4 of them in the game, if I'm not mistaken. I should be able to dodge him there. There we go. Ooh, hi. Okay, there we go. Now we're, yep, this is the last bonus stage. No, cake. Don't touch my cake. Stupid aliens. Nah, they're gonna get it. Or did they get it across? Okay, yeah, I barely stopped him before he got it across the line.
We'll win next time.
There won't be a next time. That was the last bonus stage. 33 is the final boss. Yes, I mean, look at, you can see the speed is increasing even more. Oop. I was focusing on shooting between the eggs. Because ideally, if you don't hit the eggs, then the dragons don't come out, and, you know, tactics like this, right? Oh, God. Okay, that was... I guess the dragons weren't in this these eggs. They were the fast little guys. There we go. But either, and there's the Death Star. Apparently the Cosmo Gang got a hold of the Death Star somehow at some point. I'm not really sure how that happened. But it did. And look, we got laser guys up there. We got the Cosmo Gang boss. We got containers. It's just a terrible nightmare of shit. Like, this is the real Cosmo Gang right here. Like, just an absolute mess. And so, like, these last few stages are just... Even if you know what you're doing better than I do, you just end up with all kinds of nonsense and all sorts of possibilities for death if you can't control, like, the laser guys and these and ugh. Yes. Yeah, you do. Oh, and I walked right into the laser. I thought I could beat it. Alright, what, we're on 31, so a couple more stages. You can kind of get away with that early on. You really can't get away with it later when they're moving this fast. And that laser guy to me is like threat number 1, so... They always go first every time. Yeah, if you think the stages get even longer, though. And so every one of those things is like a blessing, basically. Because it just kind of takes the heat off you. And you've got a lot of heat on you at this point in the game, as you can tell. Ah! And like losing that double shot is really pretty unfortunate. So every time it happens, it's quite painful. No, I don't want to risk that. Ugh. All right, one more before the final boss, I think. And like this is, it's just torture. Look at this. Look at this. Containers, dragons, and laser guys all at once. So you're trying to dodge around the containers, and I think the containers just keep spawning. Like, even if I were to prioritize the containers, I don't think... Maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe I should figure that out, because, like... If I could just burn the containers down, that would actually probably be a better way to go. And there's a boss going across the screen that I won't be able to take advantage of. And so now you go into the last boss completely powered up. And this is what, Don Cosmo or something like that? This is the boss. This is the boss of the Cosmo Gang. And he has a few phases. He's dropping some rocks here. Which, you can shoot some of them, you can't shoot some of them. And he goes, wee, 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 every time he takes damage. And it's like, it almost looks like he's wearing a graduate's robe, as though he's just graduated from college or high school or something. I'm not 100% sure what the real best way to handle the rocks is. Because if you're not under him, you can't really get damage, right? All right, and what? We've got the rotating flames here. And dragons. As though one weren't enough. And no point in killing all the dragons, by the way, because they just come back. So, like, this last boss is really... it's pretty rough. And those... I think those flames rotate around once. And then it's safe to go under them after the first rotation. And I think you can take the dragons down to... yeah, does he replace every single one? Or is it just when you get them down past, again, it's just like the amount of stuff you have to dodge is really getting up there. And which phase is this? This is lightning, okay. And so you get little tells here, but again, you have a lot of stuff to dodge on screen while it's happening, too. Like, bullets from these guys dive bombing you. And they never really go away. They just keep coming, so like, you have to try and be defensive, but you can't be too defensive or this phase will just never end. So close. And then this is his final phase. And I believe for this one, when you get a star that actually shoots at you, you only really want to shoot it once if you can help it. Because you can end up in this thing where you're bouncing them back around on yourself. Which I feel like I just did right there. And so you really enter in kind of like battle of attrition mode here as they get faster and faster. And you're trying not to spam your shots on them so that they don't bounce around on you. But you also need to get damage in on him. And I mean, look at how fast they end up moving. So like, ugh. You can try and just go for spamming shots, but it's gonna catch up with you. You can try dodging, but it's easy to slip up. At least for me. What? And I guess the Death Star is going to blow up. That's exactly how it happened in Star Wars, right? More or less. That's how you all remember it happening in Star Wars, right? Yeah, me too. And we didn't really have anything in Game Machine or any game magazines for the first Redemption games because, like, while they had ads and things like that for games like the original Cosmo Gang, you didn't really get, like, them being put in rankings or anything like that. But we got plenty of game magazines for the arcade games and the ports. Plenty. Cooperated by original Cosmo Gang team. So there you go. They had the input of the original team for that Redemption machine in on this. Oh, look at that. They're working construction now, I guess. They've been forced to work construction and, like, work in clubs. And what are they doing there? Delivery? Is that delivery? And there's the boss. And oh, okay. Why not? We'll enter initials for my pitiful performance there. All right. Well, with that, let's go look at some magazines, shall we? All right. It's been a minute since we've looked at a game machine, right? And I think these are game machines that we've looked at before at one point. But you know what? For one of them, at least, let's do what we like to do and kind of go back to the beginning and just sort of flip through it a little bit, you know, have a little bit of fun and not just go straight to the rankings. I'm pretty sure we've looked at this issue before for something though. And why are you not paging down? What is happening? Oh, is it like struggling under something? I don't know. Good old, I should probably stop using Adobe for this because I feel like it just is a terrible program for PDFs. Well, we got G.I. Joe, and I'm just now noticing that this is Cobra Commander's second, his revised costume. Or no, it was that. Yeah, right? Did he have the helmet first and this second? I don't remember anymore. It's been a while since I've watched G.I. Joe. It's all leaving my memory. But yeah, the old what would you really call that? This type of game. You know, a Wild Guns like and that sort of thing. A Nam 1975 like. I know they have a name. It's just escaping me. That particular type of run and gun. We've got fun stuff we've seen before, like Dark Seal, a Chew, which is sort of a... I don't know that I would really say that it was Gauntlet per se. Like, it was definitely sort of aping Gauntlet, but it didn't really have like the ticking down health credit feedy mentality that Gauntlet did. So I feel like it might be doing Dark Seal a disservice to call it a Gauntlet-like, personally. Wizard Fire. I have to localize it as Wizard Fire. That's just such a strange decision. And you got, you know, I mean, look here, we got some similar redemption games to stuff like, what we were looking at earlier, right? Who is this? This is Mad Saurus. You can kind of see him here. He's a little dinosaur guy, and I think you're probably throwing balls at him. You're not shooting him with a gun per se, but you know, sort of a similar idea, right? So like they had these things in Japan too. It wasn't just international arcades that they exported them to, I don't think. Ah, yes. Mad Dog McCree. Oh, yeah, and also, I guess, Street Fighter II Champion Edition, too. That game might have kind of been a big deal. But Mad Dog McCree, the amount of ad space that Mad Dog McCree got in the Japanese publication that was Game Machine is kind of astounding. Like, you would not imagine Mad Dog McCree having gotten that much traction there, but it how much traction it got is another question, but like it got a lot of advertisements. Like it was in Game Machine every 2 weeks for like quite a while. What else? Let's see here. Rim Rockin' Basketball. Oh man, and Saboten Bombers. Let's see. We've got some quiz stuff on the Neo Geo. We've got Mutation Nation. We played Mutation Nation recently. That sure is a video game that you can play. Baseball Stars 2 Last Resort, like our whole Neo Geo spread here. It is what is this? It is 1992 after all. We're firmly in like Neo Geo popularity town, right? Undercover Cops. I'm coming up on that, I think, fairly soon on scrolling down the belt. It can't be that far away because this was, I mean, clearly this was a 1992 game, judging by the fact that it's in this issue. What else? What else before we get to rankings, if anything? Ah, yes, we always like to look at our little crane toys, but there doesn't seem to be too much interesting here. It's all fairly generic, or maybe not generic. Maybe it's just stuff that I don't know. But nothing that really jumps out at me as being all that recognizable. Oh my kung fu. Like, I feel like that's just something that they made up. The alpha renewal of Undercover Cops. Is that some type of a fan remake? All right, here we go. This is kind of what we were waiting to get to, right? Let's zoom in a little bit more on this side of things so we can actually like look at the ranking a little bit more closely here. I'll move us over to the left. So again, we've looked at these. I'm pretty sure we've looked at the same exact issue before for something else. I don't remember what it was for, but or at least something around this period in time. But I mean, you know, what's our exact date on this issue? It's April 15th, 1992. So like this is not long before Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition comes out. Like it's probably going to be in another, you know, a couple issues or so. It might actually already even be out, but it just hasn't. It usually takes a couple of months before a game will appear in these Gamist rankings from the time it was released. So, you know, you got Street Fighter 2 on top, which is really not surprising. It's kind of doing this thing where it's fluctuating between number 1 and number 2 in these top spots, right? I'm trying to remember which Retronauts that was, where they talked about a bunch of games that you've gone over in your videos and they didn't know much, so I left a comment. I appreciate you leaving that comment for starters. They do know me, depending on who it is. Like I do guest on a Retronauts from time to time. Maybe not all the ones I should, but I am on there from time to time. I wonder, I listened to almost every episode, so I must have listened to it. If you can recall what episode it was, let me know and see if I can dig that out of my memory here. So I'm pretty current. I think I just listened to the Famicom Disk System episode. Like I just finished listening to it yesterday or so. Ah, yes, that one. Okay. Yeah, I think I remember hearing them. Was it what's the IRM game that I'm blanking on? That I covered a while back. Or no, because that wasn't Capcom's Barbarian Legacy. That was IREM's Barbarian Legacy. Anyway, I also remember that there was something on there that I had covered and that they sort of, but you know, Retronauts paints with a broad brush, so I don't try to beat them up too much when they get details wrong or missing or whatever. Lots of quiz games, especially throughout the early 90s here. You've got 2 separate ones from Dynex and Taito. You've got another game I covered, Knights of the Round, which is kind of really hanging up here pretty high for as really difficult of a game as that is, to be honest. Yeah, I did not actually intend that pun. I wish I could take credit for having been that clever. Oh yeah. They did mention Knights of the Round. That's right, didn't they? Because it had sort of a medieval thing going on. That's right. It was kind of like Barbarian. I don't know, but I kind of see what they were going for. I'm glad that they mentioned Monster Hunter though. Again, a favorite of mine that I haven't particularly done any videos on, but one day. Football Frenzy from SNK on the Neo Geo, and here it is. And its debut, this line here means that it's its debut ranking. And then this is the place that it ends up getting this. A Cosmo Gang the video at number 6. So pretty, like, for a game that, for all outward appearances, is pretty Galaga-esque, I would say that's a pretty solid showing, right? Number 6. Yep, Trojan. Gosh, I did Trojan so early on. I think Trojan was the one that they said something during where I was like, no, that's just wrong. But that's okay. Trojan is a very difficult game, so I don't really expect anyone playing that to like really sit down and and learn the systems and learn to play it well because it's difficult. You got your Shanghais. They're kind of perpetually up here. Shanghai 1 and 2 and 3 and whatnot. You've got Soccer Brawl also on the Neo Geo. Things like Tank Force, Hat Trick Hero, more quiz stuff. Quiz, yeah, I remember coming across this before. Quizu roka ni tatte nasai. Quiz, stand up outside. So this is like the school equivalent of being like, go stand in the hallway, and whatever. So that's kind of what that's going for. Oh no, you're fine. You're all good. No interruptions at all. I'm happy to go on tangents. I do it enough myself as it is. And you've still got stuff like Raiden and Fatal Fury hanging around. You still got Captain Commando hanging around, speaking of games that I covered. And this type of thing, you can see, but there was just, I said this before, but there's just this real weird thing going on with Sega quiz games and school themes, because you've got Quiz Roka ni Tatte Nasai, quiz stand out in the hall, and you've also got quiz I forgot my homework. Shukudai o wasuremashita, even though they just call it quiz my homework here for some reason. It's clearly, I forgot my homework. The dog ate my homework. Whatever you want to call it. And you've got this puzzle game battle that's kind of been going on throughout the 90s of like columns and Tetris just like duking it out on their last legs here on the top 25 part of the charts, right? But I do want to see what happened to Game Machine in the next issue. So this is, we go from 415 to 51. So like what happened to Cosmo Gang, the video here? Like, did it drop immediately off or kind of what's happening? Well, it actually went up. It went up only by 1, but it did go up. A little bit more. That's maybe a little too much. So again, next issue, you've still got Street Fighter 2 on top. Surprise, surprise. Another one that would kind of stick around for a little while, if I remember correctly, is Sonic Wings, aka Aero Fighters from Video System. That one was a pretty popular shooter. And yeah, you've got, oh, I remember why we were in here. We were looking at Arabian Fight. Sega's Arabian Fight, a recently-ish covered game on Scrolling Down the Belt, which came in at 7. And like, yeah, Cosmo Gang the video ought to be above Arabian Fight, in my opinion. Proof that I'm not just biased toward any beat 'em up, because Arabian Fight, that's a real tough one. That's a tough one. And you've got, Knights of the Round falling down here quite a bit, actually, from 4 to 12. You've got Fatal Fury still kind of sticking around where it was. And yeah, Mutation Nation debuted here too. So we probably looked at this at 2 separate streams. So that came in lower than Arabian Fight, which, would I rather play Mutation Nation or Arabian Fight? I might actually say Mutation Nation if I'm being honest, like just in terms of gameplay. And you've got like Columns climbing its way up above Tetris here. So like all sorts of crazy stuff happening. Like stuff is just moving all over the charts all the time. And if we go even one more issue into Game Machine here, so we go one more issue into the future, just to kind of see what's happening with Cosmo Gang. We've got, it's finally happened. Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition has released. So needless to say, it goes up to the top. But interestingly, Street Fighter 2, our previous #1, doesn't immediately go down to just #2. Like Aero Fighters actually beats it out. Probably because less people are playing this, obviously. Because now the sequel, you can't really call it, the revision or whatever is now out. So obviously this is going to drop down the chart slowly but surely. But look, Cosmo Gang the video goes up again, one more time. So like it's up here playing with the big boys now, right? It's up here playing with your Street Fighters and your Sonic Wings. But yeah, other than that, it's a lot of the same stuff. Again, things going back down the charts. Tetris is up above Columns now, because Columns is now just gone, and now Tetris has gone up a couple places. So The puzzle game people kind of holding on. Mutation Nation about to drop off. And from here, in the future issues, it just kind of, it starts dropping from here. This is the highest Cosmo Gang ever gets. But I feel like for a type of shooter that had kind of already seen its heyday by 1992, this is like a pretty respectable performance. I really do feel that way. And to kind of back that up a little bit, let's just take a look at Gamist. So they did not at all vote Cosmo Gang like the best game or anything like that, but they did put it in best shooting. So we can see here, this is the best shooting awards, and Cosmo Gang the video is right here at number 8. So Cosmo Gang the video, according to the readers of Gamist, better than Last Resort on the Neo Geo. Do I agree with that? I don't know. I have to think about that. Better than Hacha Mecha Fighter, which I think I agree with, but not better than Wolfang or Varth or Tatsujino or Macross, the Macross shooter that was in arcades, or Metal Black or ZexX or Sonic Wings. So that's a pretty fair place to put it, I feel like, on a shooting game ranking for that year. That seems right. Like there's some big killers here. Like I agree probably that it's not a better game than Wolfang as a shooter. Macross I question a little bit because like it was cool to see a Macross game in arcades, but it's not like amazing. But anyway, that is Gamist. But that's not all for the Cosmo Gang series, and it's certainly not all for Cosmo Gang the video. Because there was a home port of this to the Super Famicom later the very same year. So October 1992, we got Cosmo Gang the video on the Super Famicom. So let me load that one up. I've actually not played this port. I've only played the arcade version. So let's see what this port has in store for us, shall we? I heard it is not a 1-to-1. Let me address this comment real quick, because this is a very good question, Little Terror. Are these magazines scanned online? Yes, they are at archive.org. If you just go in there and you type in Game Machine or you type in Gamist, I source all of these from archive.org. Archive.org is a little bit spottier when it comes to Famitsu, I will say. They do have some, but there was a thing where Famitsu was kind of, they were forced to take some issues down, I believe. So if you're interested in Famitsu sets, which we'll get to in a minute here, let me find the link. Give me just a moment here. Yeah, but the other ones you can very easily get at archive.org. Are these the Famitsu sets? Yes. Okay, cool. I'll put a link in here for this. So if anyone's interested in downloading some Famitsu sets, there's torrents there. Sorry for link. Did you do a link, Little Terror? Did auto modding like catch you or something? I'm trying to see if I can say that it's okay. Oh, it was just in there. I see. Yeah, no, that's fine. You're all good. You're all good. All right, so that's kind of the deal with these magazines, and so I'm not a person who just has like this collection of magazines in my basement or something. I mean, I have some Famitsus, but not a lot, and not really anything else. So these are not like ones I've scanned in or anything like that. I source them all. So I source them all from people who have done the work. All right, Cosmo Gang the video on the Super Famicom. Which ones do you have at your parents' house? All right. All right, we're probably gonna need to turn the sound up for this one. Let's see. Turn it up maybe about there, and let's see how this goes. We can do normal, extra hard. No, thank you. Wow. Okay. This is different. All right. So far, you know, I would say kind of what you would expect for a Super Famicom port of this. Right? Maita! Maita is probably what he said there, actually. So you're going to get the Japanese voices in this, even though they're not going to be quite as clean of samples or anything like that. I used to have, when I was younger, a lot of US game magazines, but I don't really know what I ever did with them. Achoo! Oh, now he's like, yeah, okay. He's doing the thing where he's flying around, okay. I assume since this is a Super Famicom port, it will not let me just continue forever, but we'll find out. So we may not go all the way to the final boss on this. Oh, the level structure is different. This is like 1-3. It's giving like levels in a little bit different of a representation. Oh god. Oh, I hate this shot. It's interesting because it stays on the screen a whole lot longer. So in a way it's kind of good, but it takes a little bit of getting used to. So now we're on 1-4. Again, a different... I have heard that this version is easier. Is what people seem to think. But we'll see if we can make it into some of the later levels here. Oh, there's a 1-up. Oh, sure, why not? Get rid of you guys a little bit easier. The place where gaming magazines go to die. Yeah, maybe. Challenging stage! Hi. Not bad. Yeah, I used to, when I was younger, I used to keep stacks of them under my bed. And I suspect my parents eventually made me throw them away or something, but... I don't remember actively getting rid of them or selling them or anything, because back in that... Oh! Aw, that's cute. Because back in those days, you weren't, you know, nobody really valued game magazines, so... I don't know who I even would have sold them to. All right, so this is different. We're kind of grouping this more up into areas. Which... Fine. Ah! Okay. Yes, I would like that double shot, please. That's useless at this point from the one enemy that I have left. Your mom shipped all your gaming magazines from New York, and I threw them. Yeah, you know, the mistakes we all make, right? And learn to regret. It's just how it goes. Like I do mostly, in terms of physical games, I do mostly collect Japanese versions of games these days, but, you know, I had a lot of US versions back in the day that I wish I would have kept. Would have been nice to have them, you know? If for no other reason than nostalgia. But those, I had sold a large amount of those at various stages in my life, because I did the thing where it was like, okay, you want the, you know, the whatever system, then you gotta sell your games for this system, because why would you need 2 video game systems? Later on, when I started having my own money, I, you know, broke myself of that, but back when I was just getting allowance and stuff like that, it's like, well, what was I gonna do, you know? I'm sure that happened to all of us, to some degree. I mean, there are those people who are just like, nope, I saved everything. Always. And, like, good for you if you had the foresight to do that. Ah! I did not really want to lose that power up there. Are the laser beam guys still a nightmare in this version? They seem a little bit weaker. Gomenne, Gomenne, they say as they die. It's hard to hear those speech samples because they're very garbled, but they were nice and clear on the arcade version. 1 up, I'll take that. These guys seem a little bit easier to deal with on this version. Like, the enemy, like, sort of behavior in general seems just a little bit easier. So maybe this is what they meant when they said, oh, we get a little bit of slowdown there, too. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. Abune. So yeah, I'm already... We'll see how the difficulty cranks up, but I'm already kind of feeling like... Here they are again. Bum, ba, da, bum, 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 ba, da, bum, bum, bum. I love where they do even the Western music and everything. That's amazing. No, don't go over there with it. Suki wa makenai zo. Sarabada. Yeehaw! Howdy, we're the Cosmo Gang. I don't know what, was that the green birds? He just got like buried in a pile of green birds? All right, now we're at 3, I suppose. Area 3. It's hard to map how this goes on to, you know, the original with its 30 overall levels. Ah, okay. Just... Laser! I wanted that power up! No. No laser for you today, I'm afraid. Ah, my god. Okay, well now we get to see what happens with the continues. Really? Really? Not even one continue? Are you serious? That seems harsh. Was there an option or something that I missed? But I feel like there's probably not. It's probably just the way it was. Let's see, let's poke in the options here real quick if there were any. There is an area select, though. So maybe that's kind of what they do. How do I get to it, though? Oh. Weirdly... Huh, okay, that's strange. Anyway, so what is I go to area... Okay, so this is kind of maybe how they make up for it. So, like, maybe I start with all my lives now, and so I can just go right into area 3. Kind of a weird way of doing it, but okay. Sure, I guess. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. Take that guy. Come in there, come in there. Perfect. Yeah, okay, that's a bullet that I would like to get out of my way. If no! Come back, you jerk! Ah! See, you can definitely still do the same thing where you, like, overcommit and, like, stick yourself against a wall. And now, of course, I don't have the one-ups I've accumulated up until this point, so, like, it'll be way harder to get through. So, I probably will not be entirely successful continuing from level 3. But it is a thing I can do. Really? Okay. Okay, they are quite fast. Alright, I'm gonna give that one more try. We're not gonna spend a ton of time on the Super Nintendo port because we played the arcade version, but... I feel like a regular continue system would have benefited this game more than the weird kind of thing that they did with you being able to do area selects. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I might see... I wonder how much the Japanese copy of this game is these days. When I'm in Japan in November, I might see if I can... let's see. Write a note to myself here. I'll have to look up the price of that and see what what we'd be looking at. Cause like, I like this series. I would like to have as many things of it as I can. New stick is working out pretty well, I would say. It's a little... The only real difference with it, and I don't think it's particularly hurting me for as much as I'd love to blame my performance on you know, a new stick, is the lever is pretty close to... is closer to the buttons, I will say. But I don't think that's negatively impacting me, really. I think that's still enough distance where I don't need the big, you know, deck on the side that my other one has so much. It's just sort of unnecessary. And, cause you go to enough events with a big stick and a big stick backpack, and it becomes very cumbersome. And you're like, how can I reduce, how can I reduce the amount of shit that I have to carry around, or the weight of it, or whatever? And so, like, I think I could slip this one into a backpack a regular backpack a little more easily instead of a dedicated stick backpack. Okay, I was looking up at the dragons and not paying attention at the bullets that were raining down on me. No, we got the containers in this too. Because of course we do. And I feel like the gaps between the bullets are a little more narrow, but maybe that's just me. Nappy, hello! Of $1 Million Extreme? I definitely do not have the perfect life. I'll tell you that right now. Depends on what your definition of the perfect life is, I suppose, but... Oh, guy life, I see, okay. I don't even know about that. I do live by myself, though, so, I mean, as far as that goes, I I am lucky enough to have a job that pays relatively well and can, you know, afford to spend money on things. Yeah, I'm one more. I don't think I'm going to be able to get through Area 3 on that amount of lives, but you know what? One more try, and then we'll look at the Famitsu review for this. There are cats. I have 2 cats. I probably should post pictures of them to places more often than I do, but I do have 2 cats. So yes, in that way, I suppose I do not live on my own. Only when it comes to humans, not when it comes to general tenants. No! I was on my way over to you. Yeah, I've got a lot of historical cat photos, let me tell you. Bat and are those your two, Maddie? Bat and Peru? Those are good names. No lovey-dovey partner currently, I'm afraid. Not at all close-minded to it, but as it turns out, when you're working a regular job and you're trying to make content creation do something, it doesn't leave you with a lot of other time, and that includes not really much time for dating. Which is, I recognize, is not great, but I've always been a person who's been pretty okay on my own, for good or for bad. I have been married in my life. That was quite a long time ago now, but it is a thing that happened, so I am not a perpetually partnerless person. I just haven't been too you know, incentivized to do a whole lot of dating since that. There was nothing. It was a very what's the word I'm looking for? Very agreeable, you know, parting of ways. Like, there was no horrible anything that happened as a result of it. It was about as amenable as you could ask for something like that. But I kind of had a weird thing to where the person who I ended up marrying, I lived together with her for quite a few years before we got married. And, like, we sort of moved in together for, I would say, maybe the wrong reasons and maybe slightly too early in life. And I think that kind of, how to put it, like, didn't set us up for the best type of partnership, if that makes sense. We were always much better friends than we were anything else. And so, yeah, no, it wasn't on bad terms. Yeah, my cats, I was gonna say, my cats are Hagar, named after Mike Hagar from Final Fight, yes, even though it's a lady cat, I don't care. Her name is Hagar. Hagar and Sugi, S-U-G-I, Sugi. And I've had both of them for a little over 10 years, so they're older cats now. And I had Kazu, who passed away last year, about March, the end of March of last year, who was very old. He passed away at almost 21 years old, which for a cat is just an insanely long life. But I had him ever since he was a kitten, like literally from the moment he was born. He was born in a cardboard box inside an apartment that I used to live in. Like, we adopted his mom from a shelter. She got pregnant through various circumstances that I won't get into. And so we had a litter of kittens for a while, litter of about 6 kittens. And the rest, as soon, because we did not want that many cats, because we had 3 cats in the house at that time, plus 6 kittens, so it was an absolute madhouse. And we raised those kittens until they became old enough to give away to friends, and they're kittens. We had no problems doing that. Kazu was the one left, and so we kept Kazu, and Kazu had been with me ever since. So he had a really long, good life. But yeah, I have a ton of pictures of him that 21 years for a cat is nuts. I never would have imagined that he ever would have lived that long, or any cat that I had would ever have lived that long. So this one's for you, buddy. This issue of Famitsu's for you, buddy. All right, we got to do the thing if we're going to go to Famitsu next, though, right? Hold on, here we go.
Famitsu check.
There it is. All right. Okay, let's see. So we played the arcade version of Cosmo Gang, the video, and now we have played the. It is what Kazu would have wanted. I know. Let's see. Kazu, noted cat who loved to read magazines. No, actually, Kazu, noted cat who loved to lay on top of magazines. That much I can confirm. As all cats do, really. They like to lay on top of things. And so, boy, oh boy, if there was a magazine on the floor, Kazu was going to go over and lay on top of it. Okay. But we've got other games in here, too. But Cosmo Gang, the video, is first in the magazine. 7578. We'll go back and look at a couple comments in a minute here. But let's just kind of go through some of these other ones first, as we like to do. Let's see. Air management. Taiku ni kakeru. So this, I feel like I've played or seen the English version of this. This is a Mega Drive game from Koei, unsurprising when it comes to a sim game of any kind. What was this called? This was I know I've seen this one before. Aerobiz. Aerobiz is the name I was looking for. I believe Aerobiz came out for a couple of different platforms too. I remember renting this and just being baffled by it. But it got pretty good scores. Like somebody gave it an 8. Look at that. What else do we have here? We'll go into that level of zoom. This level of zoom is pretty good for being able to scroll quickly. Double Moon Densetsu. Double Moon Densetsu. A Famicom RPG in 1992, which is getting, probably about what you would expect a Famicom RPG to get in 1992. Kind of scores that are right down the middle. A 6 and 3/5. What do we have here? Super Linear Ball. Linear Ball, perhaps? Super Linear Ball? Not a game I'm very familiar with. What is this? This is, you know what? I feel like I might have rented this as well. Did this come out? Did this come out as anything in the West, or am I just imagining this? Space Foot, thank you, Starlight Midoriland. Space Football 1-on-1. I must have rented this because this is looking very strangely familiar in these screenshots here. And it looks like they're comparing it to like F-Zero in terms of like the sense of, sorry. They were saying I was expecting a sense of speed comparable to that of F-Zero. But it is not, it's definitely not that. Definitely not that. And yeah, 6465. Shin Megami Tensei. Nobody knows anything about that game. Surely that didn't get good scores. All 9s. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I can kind of understand that. The original Shin Megami Tensei probably deserved all 9s. Let's see. Though I did not play the first Shin Megami Tensei until much, much later. I certainly was not playing it in 1992. How could I? Emulation wasn't probably much of a thing back then, and I sure was not reading any Japanese in 1992. I can tell you that much. It turns out Atlas makes good games. It's true. Who knew? Who knew? Cyber Knight for the Super Famicom, which appears to be like a science fiction RPG. I do not know anything about this one, and I'm pretty sure I did not play it. Almost straight sixes, 6665. We've also got, what is this? Kuraingu. I'm not 100% sure how to read the kanji for that. I know the last ones are Senso, something Seimei Senso, Shu Seimei Senso, maybe. Looks like a Mega Drive shooter, which I don't think I have played. Let's see. Crying, Aseme Senso. Okay, Sublife War. Oh, this is Biohazard Battle. Okay. I have not actually played this, so I did not make an incorrect statement, but I do know of the name of it by Biohazard Battle. I think I had to, back when I did some translation work for the Gaming Historian video that came out forever ago on the Mega Modem, I believe Biohazard Battle had like a byline in there somewhere, and I had to translate some article about it from like a Japanese Mega Drive magazine or something. That's probably where it's sticking with me. 6764. We've got Holyfield Boxingu. This is Evander Holyfield boxing, of course, on the Mega Drive. And got, I don't know how well they knew Evander Holyfield in Japan. I feel like boxing is just not really as much of a thing there. I'm sure it has its fans. 7665. So yeah, about maybe what you would expect for something like that. I've never really been in too much into these boxing games. Like if it's not a boxing game that has the word punch out in it, then I probably haven't played it. So I don't know how good or not good Evander Holyfield's boxing was. Oh, it was also used Riddick Bowe. Pro Yaku Super League CD. Pro Baseball Super League CD for the Mega CD. So, but what if baseball, but on a compact disc? Think about that for a second. And it got pretty middle of the road scores, 5566. That doesn't really look like it's doing too much with the CD format. If I'm just judging from this one screenshot. Landstalker. We got any Landstalker fans in the house? A sort of weird, like, what's the word for it? Like an isometric view, kind of like platformer RPG kind of thing. I have some love for Landstalker. It's been a while since I last played it. And apparently Famitsu did as well because it got 3 8s and a 9. Holy cow. And we're closing things off here with a couple Game Boy games. Kyoro-chan Lando. Kyoro-chan Land for the Game Boy. This appears to be a comical action game, according to Famitsu. Oh, that's Castellian. Okay. Yeah, it does have that look to it. That, what would you even really call this? Like a puzzle platformer, maybe? But it got 6554. Probably about what I would expect for a game like that. And we've got Rampart. Oh, Rampart on the Game Boy. Surely you could not have been a good version of Rampart. But not apparently a complete shit show because it got a 5565. I have certainly played Rampart. I've played the arcade version of Rampart more than anything else, but I have never, ever played the Game Boy version of Rampart. So make of that what you will, but I feel like you would have had to been pretty desperate for some Rampart to have a good time with that. All right. Well, we've definitely got a couple of outlier scores here. Rolling Uchizawa is our reviewer who gave it an 8. And Arutsu Suzuki, not Suzuki. It's hard to not say that coming off of the tsu of Arutsu. Arutsu Suzuki, I have to like pause in the middle to say it correctly, is the one who gave it a 5. So, should we start with the highest or the lowest? Let's start with the highest. Let's start with Rolling Uchizawa. All right. So he says, in terms of game systems, it's essentially Galaga, which is going to be a running theme throughout all of these, right? Every single person in here says, okay, actually, Isabella calls it out as specifically being Galaxian-like and not Galaga. So she's going back even a little further. But everyone, and Arutsu is actually going to say Gaplus, which was that the immediate follow-up to Galaga? I can never remember like the exact chronology. But yeah, literally every person is saying this in their review. Every single person. Sorry, I scrolled off. So it's essentially Galaga in terms of game systems, but Cosmo Gang has bonus stages. It has 2-player simultaneous play, and let's see here, and all sorts of like he calls them plus alphas. So like improvements over the traditional Galaga formula, right? The movement of the enemies it's quite tricky, and that makes it fun. So I think he is basically acknowledging what I did, which is like it's a little more than Galaga because it's just a little bit more difficult. And yeah, for sure, the bonus stages and things like this give it a little extra color, right? I mean, it doesn't have the phrase "that's galactic dancing" in it, but we can't have everything. Let's see. He says it's very simple and straightforward, but it really gets hectic. And it should be pretty easy for beginners. I don't know, like when you get enough into that, it's going to give you a little bit of a challenge, but for the most part, I agree with everything that he said. I think that's a pretty good assessment of Cosmo Gang, and like I might give it a 7 or an 8 myself if I was scoring it. Like I really, and that Super Famicom port seemed pretty good. I maybe needed to get a little further in it to judge it accurately, but I think they did a pretty good job capturing the essence of it, with giving it, what I guess their idea of a way of making it more playable on consoles was, right? So let's look at Arutsu Suzuki, who gave it a 5. And so, of course, he says, let's see, it feels like the type of shooting game that began at Galaga and it ended at Gal Plus. Let's see, anything from there on out was just, diminishing returns. I think he's maybe talking about the Galaga series there. It's not 100% clear from context. He says this may vary according to your tastes, but a comical shooting game, I feel like this comical shooting game is sort of, making a fool out of me, and I don't like it very much, though the bonus stages were fun. That's a weird thing to say. This game is making fun of me. I don't like it. What does that even mean in the context of a game like this? That's a strange observation. Maybe one of the strangest I've seen in Famitsu so far, I feel like. But speaking of strange, I suppose, let's move on to our next title here. All right. We're going back, and this time we're going back to the arcade games, because we got one more Cosmo Gang game to do a home port and an arcade version of. Pardon me, well, I think I just closed RetroArch for whatever reason. Let's see here. Cosmo. This, actually, let me change it on the flyer as well. Flyer? The marquee? What am I even talking about anymore? All right, so this, assuming I got this right. Yeah, this also came out in 1992. So actually, in the arcade in 1992, this came out 1 month after the home port of Cosmo Gang the video. This is Cosmo Gang the puzzle. So what do we do after we've given these guys a shmup? Apparently, we give them a puzzle game. Why are you not showing? Why are you not showing on screen? You were just a second ago. There we go. All right. So we'll let the tutorial kind of explain the general idea of this here. So you may be tempted at first glance to be like, okay, it's just Cosmo Gang with Tetris. And that's not entirely inaccurate, but it's also not entirely accurate either. Because what you're really trying to do here is sort of build up different lanes of the Cosmos and different lanes of the containers. Yes, these are the very same containers that explode on you and scatter shots in multiple directions. And then when you get an arrow piece, it moves in the direction that the arrow is pointing. So really it turns into a ball and moves in that direction. So you're supposed to build up like these tunnels of Cosmos sort of through the containers. And so you can wipe out this big line of Cosmos all in one go, right? And then if you have a line of containers, much like in Tetris, and you put down a straight line of containers, you will clear the line of containers. So I am not a person who is amazing at puzzle games. So my performance on here is going to be pretty darn pitiful, I'm afraid. But we gotta show it because it's a part of the Cosmo Gang franchise. So I need to introduce this one to Enerjax. She is a puzzle game fanatic, and I don't know how well she would grok to this, but it may be worth doing at some point. All right, folks. Cosmo Gang the puzzle. Here it is. We're gonna do 1-player mode. I've never played a 2-player. I'm definitely gonna start from easy. Oh, the Jangkempo and Ranma. I have never played that game. I'm aware of its existence. But you saying that makes me very intrigued. Because eventually we are going to be streaming some Ranma games, and I'll be forced to reckon with it. Oh Lord, okay. And so it takes me a long time to intelligently think about how to be good at a puzzle game, is the thing. Okay, why is this? Hold on a second. I feel like something is not mapped right. Like I'm not able to just hold down to do a drop. Let's take a look at this here. Port 1 controls. Surely I must have. Why wouldn't down be registering as down? Are my, like, larger inputs messed up? Let's see. I mean, I wasn't going up and down in Cosmo Gang the video. That wasn't really a thing I needed to do. I was just going from side to side, so I suppose something could be wrong with this. But let's see. D-pad up is up, D-pad down is down, but let's just remap this. Key down, key up. Okay, good. That should be fine. Okay, let's see if maybe I had a bout of temporary insanity or something. The Cosmo game, yeah, that's right. They ended up making it into a pack because they had this is where I wonder about how much faith they ended up having in the Cosmo Gang in the end, right? Because they scrapped it and turned it into Pac-Man. So, like, that to me says, like, no faith in the property. All right, now my mapping is working. Okay, so see, you get, like, a real bad example of, like, maybe how to do that, right? And so really, you kind of want to make it so that I probably want to build this a little more. Like so. So see, now you got this. But really, you kind of want a piece that is more like, let's see. I shouldn't have done that. I was looking for more of kind of a piece like this, so I can kind of do this and build these guys up. It's not, I wouldn't say that it's really Tetris, per se. It's got some different stuff going on than in Tetris. And see, now if you, because this is like your breaker, and now you can go boom, 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 and then there's the Cosmo Gang all broken there. Yeah, Pac-Man sprites actually probably do make more sense for this now that you say it that way. And then so now you can kind of do this. But my containers are building up, is the problem. And so I'm sort of limiting myself on options on what I can do and where I can place the Cosmo Gang, right? Because now they're trapped in, and so now I've kind of screwed myself. I've done basically the thing I ought not to have done. Because now I can't clear these blocks either, because there's Cosmo Gangs in the middle of them. Hello, Fair. Thank you for coming to watch me badly play puzzle games. And now I've kept myself from clearing that line because, again, there's a Cosmo Gang in the middle. So not going amazingly, I wouldn't say. Alright, so now at least I can do something with these guys in the middle. And they'll kind of go down there. And really, I want to start feeding blocks down here to get my stack lower. Yeah, okay, this is not as terrible anymore. But still, I feel like I need to clear some of those at the bottom. Clear that at the bottom. I'm glad you think so. Let's see here. Oh, that was dumb. Why did I do that? And now it's starting to fall faster, so like my limited brain capacity to do puzzle stuff is quickly going south on me. I got a CDI port? Are you serious? Craziness. A CDI port of Pack Attack. What a world we live in. Alright, I'm quickly falling apart here because the speed is getting a little bit too much for me. Like I said, not the best person at puzzle games. Alright, that clears like 7 or 8 rows, I believe. Just like... Alright, now it looks like you got a little, ah, no, that's so fast. My god, that's fast. I was completely going the wrong way, and so now, like, there we go, that's what we want. Clear that line. I mean, really, I should be doing look-aheads and things like this. But, that would mean I actually have to be good at puzzle games, right? I mean, I can definitely at least look at the look-ahead. Lots of Cosmos, holy cow. Alright. No, that was dumb. Yeah, I sort of have the same... I'm better at Tetris than I am at this. But Tetris definitely gets up to a speed where it becomes too fast for my brain to process, which I realize is a problem that is solved through practice. But I have not yet solved that particular problem for myself. Alright, yeah, I want to try something here. I want to try intentionally trying to separate these a little bit more. Anyone here a puzzle game fanatic of any type? They are a genre that I really would like to get more into. But you know, it's all time and prioritization and all that. I'd probably just start with Tetris because, like, if that isn't the building block of puzzle games, then what is? M. Kimura, you think you're better than me. Oh, Maddie, you're like, what's your favorite puzzle game, Maddie? What is either your favorite or best at, or maybe that's the same game? Ah, you need to, oh, you like Puyo Puyo, Red Spectra? Okay, yeah, Puyo Puyo is high up on my list of ones that I would like to learn. Maddie Enerjax has also been training herself in the ways of Dr. Mario, and I think she's gotten pretty good, so you guys should have a conversation about that. She's also been playing Panel de Pon. Panel de Pon's a good one, but I suck at Panel de Pon. Like, that gets out of my control so fast, like way faster than any Tetris does. But Panel de Pon, like, obviously a super, like, historically important game, especially for Japan. Like, Japan loves them some Panel de Pon. All right, so I don't want to segment this. Puzzle Fight, I love Puzzle Fighter might be the one I am best at. I say best in air quotes because I'm still not very good. But, like, there are things I conceptually understand about Puzzle Fighter, and I feel like the decisions that I make there actually result in things that I was intending for happening, if that makes sense. Picross counts. I like Picross too. I also am a Picross enjoyer, though I probably can't do them as fast as you. But yeah, Picross is cool as hell. Different type of puzzle game, but honestly, I think it still counts. Let's see here. Put that one down there. I wonder if you get anything for an all clear. Let's see. We'll try and put him right there. And what I ultimately want to try to do is, like, actually try and, like, build something. So, like, yeah, so like that. And then maybe this. And then maybe if we can get... See, I don't want to use that yet. And then maybe, like... No, we don't want to do that. That would have been a mistake. Yeah, this is what I was hoping for, this kind of thing. Not yet. Yes, more. Give me more of those stacks. Still not quite ready, but almost ready. See, I'm trying to do look-aheads a little bit more here. I don't want one going that way particularly, though I guess I'll take that opportunity. I want an arrow pointing me yes, this is the one I want. Boom. Didn't get quite all of them that I wanted, but not bad. So, like, consciously keeping them separated, I feel like, is working a little bit better for me here. But that said, I've managed to not do that a little bit. And I definitely didn't do it there. And I definitely screwed that up. And now I've trapped him in there. So, like, there are holes I feel like I can't really think my way out of, you know, without a bunch more practice here. And then that's going to be pretty much useless. All right. You've seen enough bad play out of me here. I love how the boss Cosmo comes down afterward and taunts you. All right. T. Druaga. The T. Druaga from the Tower of Druaga. It is Namco, after all. I didn't notice that 10th place is T. Druaga. Awesome. All right. Now, the real question becomes, did this do as well as Cosmo Gang the video? Anyone want to place your bets? Place your bets on whether this did better or worse than Cosmo Gang the video in the pages of the arcade publication Game Machine? Well, you gotta wait to find out, because we're gonna look through more of the magazine first, because this is January 1st, 1993. So we maybe got some new and interesting stuff to look at here. Like I said, after a game came out, it usually took a few months to make it into the pages of Game Machine. Mortal Kombat! Mortal Kombat! I have to do the thing, right? Yes, it did come out in Japan. No, it was not as big of a hit as it was here, but it sure did come out there. Aiden, hello. We're looking, we just got done playing some Cosmo Gang the Puzzle badly, because I am bad at puzzle games. And as we like to do on this stream, we are looking and to see how it ranked in the pages of Game Machine magazine, which is a Japanese arcade publication. We're getting down to the rankings in a minute, but we kind of like to flip through these and see just kind of what was going on here in the world of Japanese arcades here in January 1st, 1993. But it did have Mortal Kombat. They got Mortal Kombat. They're getting the ads for it. Look at that cabinet. That's different than the US one, right? Is it not? It's been a while since I've seen. Yeah, Taito published it there, by the way. This is not a Taito game. We all know this. It's Midway. Got the Midway logo on the side there, but that Taito logo is on here because they helped bring it over. So Mortal Kombat 1, it hit Japanese arcades. You got Grid Seeker, Project Stormhammer. And what do we got? We got like a casino thing here, Casino Venus. Let's see. Full of Dreams, Romantic. We've got some of these crazy crane prizes, including the wacky races. If you ever wanted a Muttley or a Snidely Whiplash plushie, maybe you can get them on Mercari or Yahoo Auctions or something, because here they are. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty hardcore for Japan, right? Japan was not necessarily your audience for like this type of hyper gore and things like this. So it's no wonder that it didn't really do super well. Oh, let's see, what else? We'll skip the text here. So we can look at more pictures of arcade cabinets. We got stuff talking about, the release, the success of Street Fighter 2 Dash here, aka Champion Edition. Anything, what do we got? Okay, there's some interesting things down here. I feel like we've got like some redemption stuff. It's Texas Chainsaw. Oh my gosh, it is. Woo. What a day. What an event to celebrate. Dragonfire. Check this shit out. Look at this. You're shooting a dragon with a large gun. Oh my gosh. It's apparently rapid fire. And it's a hot battle with a dragon that's about to begin. Look at that. Dragonfire. All right. Okay. Pretty into Dragonfire. What do we got here? We've got what? Chicken. I'm bad at reading really stylized katakana. Fureku. I'm trying to even make out really what type of game it even is. It's a bit hard to tell. Let's see. So it looks like plates come from above. Oh, and they go down onto the frying pan? And you have to hit them. So it's like maybe like a whack-a-mole type thing. It's hard to tell because you aren't really seeing it in action, but let's see. What else do we have here? We got Super Ball Gorilla. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at him. That is a large gorilla with a very large mouth that I'm sure you're throwing all these balls into. The gorilla wants The gorilla wants your balls in his mouth. All right. Okay, enough of that. Basket Stadium W, which is of course your pretty typical arcade basketball game, I'd say. Yes, Japan loved them too. What is this little guy? Can ball? Looks like you're probably throwing balls into this barrel that this man is trapped in, or about ready to go down Niagara Falls in, or something. All right. There's that. What else do we got? Oh, Mystic Warriors. We got any Mystic... Whew, look at... we got any Mystic Warriors fans in the crowd here? Konami's Mystic Warriors. That's it's a, what would you say? It's kind of a Sunset Riders-esque, like I believe this is the one who people call sort of like the spiritual sequel to Sunset Riders, almost. Sort of took up Sunset Riders' mantle. Yeah, get him. What's he doing in that barrel? Get him out of there. And here we've got stuff talking about how Street Fighter II has 2 consecutive years in the top rankings. Which, of course, Street Fighter II. What do you want? What do you think? Oh, Garo Densetsu. Fatal Fury 2. That's apparently about ready to hit here at this point. And speaking of the Neo Geo, you've got Fire Suplex, which is what was that 3-count bout? Mystic Warriors is fun. I like Sunset Riders a little bit better. I'm not going to lie, but Mystic Warriors is cool. What else do we have here? Yep, 3-count bout. I thought I was right about that one. That's a weird game to play. Boy, oh boy. Fatal Fury 2 is kind of a weird game to play, too. It wasn't until Special that those games became... I mean, it wasn't until Special that those games even had goddamn combos. You did not fully miss it, Enerjax. You are about to see in a moment the puzzle game, Cosmo Gang the Puzzle, the Super Nintendo port. But you know what? For you, if you're going to stick around for a little bit, we'll circle back. We'll circle back and do a little bit more of Cosmo Gang the video after we take a look at the puzzle here. Let's see. So we've got Tenchio Kurautsu. I forget which one. Was that Warriors of Fate or what? These names, I can't keep track of what they localized these things as for the Tenchio Kurao games. Oh, by the way. There you go. That's for you. All right. We're still advertising goddamn Mad Dog McCree, like almost like a full year later. So that's happening. Dragon Gun. All right, hold on. I got to zoom in on Dragon Gun. You can't just not zoom in on a game called Dragon Gun, right? That's not a thing. You absolutely can start your traveling puzzle tournament ring. Okay, so what? You travel around the country and you make people play puzzle games in a wrestling ring for whatever reason? Is that what you mean by ring? Or are you just talking about ring as in like that's what you're calling your traveling association? Either way. Dragon Gun looks pretty sick. Look at this. You got like these weird shaped guns too, and a sit-down cabinet. I'm pretty into that. Twilight Spread. That's okay. Anyway, it's a fortune-telling game. Get your mind out of the gutter, people. Whatever I said is the right one. Both of them are right. What else? This is a very Tao Taido. This is a very cursed fighting game. Oh my gosh. BBH streamed this one recently. So go check that out if you want to see him on his Push to Reject series. It deserves to be rejected, that is for sure. All right, I think we're almost to the rankings here. Yes, here we are, right after we look at Wild Pilot. Wild Pilot! All right, so, yeah, Warriors of Fate. Oh my god, I got it right, but they didn't get it right. Warriors of Fate. That is supposed to be an A, of course, and not a W. But yeah, Tenchio Kurautsu, like very famous beat 'em up. difficult beat 'em up, but very famous, and knocked, so famous, in fact, that it knocked Capcom's other game, Street Fighter II Champion Edition, out of its #1 spot. It is that popular. Like, they say the beat 'em up was dead after the fighting game came along, but that's not universally true if you can get stuff like this happening, right? And so speaking of Puyo Puyo from earlier, Puyo Puyo 1 from Compile and Sega worked its way up from #5 to #3 here. So Puyo Puyo's kind of taken the puzzle game crown here. Art of Fighting, my goodness, on the Neo Geo got #4. Quizu Kokoroji. So, like, for those of you who don't know, you're looking at this and you're like, what the hell is Kokoroji? They're taking kokoro, like the word for heart in Japanese, and putting like ology, like kokoroji, heartology. So they're just trying to do like a wordplay thing. Super World Stadium 92, heavy fitting. They're full of typos in this issue. Super World Stadium 2, a game we haven't gotten to on Scrolling Down the Belt yet, but I cannot wait to get to because I love this game. This is my favorite Golden Axe game, Golden Axe Revenge of Death Adder. Great, even better than the first one in my opinion. Though that's a hard bar to clear. Quiz Capcom World 2, the original Street Fighter 2, still, it's down on the list here, but it's still there. Well, thanks, Little Terror. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you had some fun with the Cosmo Gang. Shanghai 2, Super Shanghai from Hot B. That Macross shooter still up here. We've got Cebu Club Soccer. And here's Cosmo Gang the Puzzle, already not performing as well as its older brother, Cosmo Gang the Video, I am afraid. I regret to inform you, there was just not as much fervor for Cosmo Gang the Puzzle, and we'll look at an issue real quick a month later and see where that sat. But it did not debut super highly, so that it was not capturing the same audience. You've got World Heroes sitting here, kind of getting ready to drop off the charts, but still here. Final Star Force from Tecmo. New Atomic Punk, which is Bomberman World. I forget that they called those games Atomic Punk. Bomberman World. I forgot that they called them Atomic Punk for whatever reason. Very strange. Yep. Gamble with the Dr. Mario start an illicit, a ring that distributes illicit pills. You guys are going to get shut down after your first event. You know that, right? When you're throwing around like fake medicine. And yeah, so that's, if we want to also look at, oh, by the way, over on the upright cabinet, rankings, Lethal Enforcers, everybody's favorite gun game from Konami, Lethal Enforcers, topping the charts over here too, above the likes of Virtua Racing and Coca-Cola Suzuka 8 Hours and the like. You have the lab coat in the forehead thing? Prove it. I don't believe it. All right, and so in our next ranking, we're gonna, oh my God, is that a picture of Michael Jackson with Sonic the Hedgehog? Hold on, I gotta zoom in on this. His affiliations with Sega are well known, obviously, right? But look at that. I don't think I've ever seen this photo before. I knew it. I knew it was a bluff. Though next time I see you, you're gonna end up with it, right? That's how it's gonna be. You're gonna be like, I was lying, or double, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I had it the entire time. So let's quickly go through this one and just see if we have any other interesting little tidbits here while we go down to the rankings and see what ultimately befell Cosmo Gang the Puzzle. They're starting to advertise for Street Fighter 2 Turbo already. That's happening. So hyper fighting's coming. And I think actually, did it come at the end of 1992? What year, or what did that ended up coming out? Let's see. I'm a little fuzzy on some of my, Japanese arcade, December 17th, 1992. So like, it hasn't been enough time for it to make it onto the charts yet. Maybe we'll see it on the charts here. but it's definitely been in arcades by a couple months at this point. And so like the Street Fighter 2 Rain ain't, oh, and look at this. I think we've looked at these guys before, but maybe we haven't, because I don't remember seeing Boxer here. Look at this. That is a terrible Chun-Li, but the rest of them are pretty good. Like that's a pretty decent Blanca for, 1993. Pretty decent Honda. I guess that's an okay Boxer. But look at these guys. Look at that. That Chun-Li is just like, oof. I don't know what's going on there, but okay. I guess that's the best that you could do with, you would purchase Honda. Yeah, I think Honda might actually be the best, have the most going on for him there. Good stuff. Street Fighter 2 Nui Gurumi. I'm sure those were flying out of the UFO catchers at the time. There's the kind of the same stuff we looked at in the last ad, along with there's the same stuff. There's Dragonfire and like the monkey with the big mouth and things like this. In person, is this person AI? Which person? The Nui Gurumi? No, they're not AI, they're stuffed. If you're talking about this person is in me, no. I regret to, well, I don't regret to inform you. I'm actually very happy to inform you that I am not AI. Let me ask you a question. Are you the real Mr. Popo of Dragon Ball fame? I hope so. I hope you are the real Mr. Popo, actually. That'd be pretty great. We'd have a real celebrity in here, wouldn't we? Let's see. There's Mystic Warriors again. Yes, I'm AI. You've discovered my secret. Let's see here. Rika-chan. What do we got here? What is it? V5. Okay, V5, I see. I just know I was not actually ever sure how that was supposed to be read, I guess. Grindstormer. What a name. There's our buddy Ultraman. Did I? Hold on. What's a Lika? And oh, Rika-chan. Ah, Rika-chan. Okay. Koreka. I am actually not Ultraman with a shiner. We'll go back to Ultraman. We had a request for Rika-chan. Here's Rika-chan. Apparently she's also a prize you can win from a UFO catcher. Little lady's friend for heart and mind. So I apologize. I had no idea we had a Rika-chan appreciator here. There she is. She's little lady's friend for heart and mind. And she appears to be in the UFO catcher with all these other misfits. I'm sorry, in the Waku Waku box from SNK, as you can see here in the title. Ah, the Waku Waku box. What excitement do you have for me today? All right. Where's Ultraman with a shiner? Let's get back to him. Does he have a shiner? Oh, yeah, he totally does. Look at that. He got jacked up by, what's his name? I forget his name. You're very welcome. I'm always happy to stop for something that caught someone's eye, even if I blew past it. All right. So the question is, what happened to Cosmo Gang the Puzzle? Did it go up? Did it go down? Well, one thing I can tell you is a lot of shit came out since the last month. Fatal Fury 2 came out, and Street Fighter 2 Turbo came out. But look, I want you all to witness this, even though this is not the point of why we are here. Fatal Fury 2, if only slightly, did better than Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Let that sink in for a second. Why do we think that is? Now, I would hazard a guess that it's because people were getting sick of Street Fighter 2 during this period, right? Because, I mean, look, all you have to do is look at this ranking, right? Like, you have Champion Edition that has been here for quite some time above, below Turbo, right? And somewhere on here, you may even have the original Street Fighter 2 still. So like, it's easy to forget, but like people were starting to get sick of just like, okay, it's another iteration of Street Fighter 2. Like, you know, the old Capcom can't count to 3 joke, right? That we were all so fond of back then. That it was real. And I think this is proof of it. Like, I doubt this will last. I doubt Fatal Fury 2 will stay up here over Turbo for very long. But it happened at some point. You still got Warriors of Fate hanging in there pretty strong. You still got Puyo Puyo hanging in there pretty strong. Quiz F1 Race making a strong debut. Art of Fighting still kind of up there. SD Gundam Neo Battling, which I believe was kind of like a you know, action platformer type deal. You know, maybe with a little bit of beat 'em up DNA in there at number 10. You still got the original Fatal Fury sticking around on here. It actually got a boost. It got a boost from the release of 2, and it's over the original Street Fighter 2. So like we got all kinds of like weird topsy-turvy stuff happening here. You've got R-Type Leo, or R-Type Leo if you prefer, though it's Leo, debuting fairly low, which I like R-Type Leo, but like, yeah, that game doesn't deserve to be up super high, I wouldn't say. And do we even have Cosmo Gang at all on here? No, we don't. Cosmo Gang the Puzzle is completely dropped off. But honestly, some of that could be due to the misfortune of like all these heavy hitters having come out, right? Like, I mean, look, you had all this crazy stuff that placed high, and so it probably just knocked it right off the charts. So poor Cosmo Gang the Puzzle. We barely knew you. But it's a shooter. Okay, sorry, I can't keep some of those Gundam. I'm not 100% sure what the name of the Gundam one is that I'm thinking of, but there is one that sort of fits that description. All right, but fast forward to February 1993. So let me update the marquee here. February 1993, we indeed have also a port of Cosmo Gang the Puzzle to the Super Famicom, only in Japan. And here it is. We just saw the arcade version, so let's kind of see how this compares to that. Let me see here. RetroArch, are you going to show up? Come on, OBS. You can do it, buddy. You can do it. I believe in you. Can I keep... Why are you not showing up? What is happening? Okay, 1 second. Make sure that I went into... I'm in 4x3 game, right? I'm in RetroArch, right? There it is! I must have messed up my sequence of buttons somehow. All right, here it is, Cosmo Gang the Puzzle. So again, your favorite, the Cosmo crew's back. And oh, there's a different type of piece in this version. If I'm seeing this correctly. Yeah, they got, before it was just these crates and it was just the Cosmo Gang. And now it looks like they've introduced a couple of different types of pieces in here. So let's see what that's all about. Hitting the start button. All right, so we got 1 player, we got versus, and we've got 100 screen mode. So probably clearing 100 screens. Enerjax, you tell me what you make of this, since this is probably your first time seeing this game being played. So, okay, we're definitely going to start with easy, because as we've established, I am not the brightest crayon in the box when it comes to figuring out puzzle games early on. I really need to, like, take some time with them. You're just columns pilled, is, I think, the problem. Okay, so the idea, once again, is we're trying to keep the Cosmo Gangs all in a row so we can wipe them out at once. And then we've got these crate pieces that we want to keep sort of separate from them, right? So we're kind of trying as best we can to group the Cosmos together and group the cranes separately and sort of make like this row of Cosmos. And this is gonna help us with that because we can build them up. And of course we have like the old next piece preview. And we can clear lines if it's just crates, but we can't clear lines of just Cosmos. We have to clear them in a very specific way with these arrows, but I want an arrow facing the other way because the arrow determines what direction the ball rolls in. So I'm just gonna get rid of this one. Let's see here. Let's put you here. Put you here to group those. And yep, this is what we want. So here, we're dropping this here, and the ball's going to roll the direction that the arrow is pointing in. So it's going to clear out this whole line of Cosmos. But you don't really want your Cosmos to be trapped between boxes, because then you can't really clear them. So you kind of want lines, like big long lines of Cosmos if you can help it. And I want to try and build a little bit more than I have here. So like we'll go like this. And we'll go like this. And this is not really the direction I want an arrow to go, so we're going to kind of leave that arrow. Nice, nice. Okay, build up the Cosmos. Yes, keep giving me more of these. This is what we like. And again, not really the one that I wanted. I'm going to hold out for an arrow in this other direction. But now we're almost, despite myself, building this in maybe a smarter way. So yeah, we can go boom, 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 boom. And we've still got like a nice little stack of Cosmos here for later as a treat. I probably could have placed that better. And now we can kind of clear them out. And so obviously the more lines of Cosmos you clear, the better. A Stairmaster, yes. The way I'm building it, yes. Oh, no. Okay. And we can do that. But now my problem is I'm building up a very high line of blocks. Oh god, I'm gonna... Ah, that was dumb! Now the Cosmos are closed in! And you can't clear a line of blocks when the Cosmos are there. It has to be a pure line of blocks. And so we won't be able to clear that bottom one until we get that Cosmo out of there. But we kind of can't get the Cosmo out of there without clearing out a bunch of other stuff. So I fear I'm like building my way toward my own doom, as I do in most puzzle games. But I feel like I could figure this out better with like more... and this clears about 7 or 8 rows. I can't remember how many exactly. But it's... I need more. I need it to clear more rows than that. Probably should have put that over there. And now they're starting to come down really fast. So now my brain is going to basically start failing me, as it always does at high-speed sections of puzzle games. Yeah, it's really interesting. I need it to stay on slow, like, forever. But, okay, we at least made something happen there. But the problem is these crates are just piling up a little too high. And I'm not clearing them out quickly enough. And that's gonna fall onto nothing. And now I'm already up at the top with this Cosmo, so maybe I can kind of make it a little bit better, but not really. And yeah, that's it. And there's the boss Cosmo laughing at me. So yeah, pretty much, I feel like in the attract mode we saw some other types of blocks, and maybe those come later, or maybe they're in the other mode, but more or less that's a pretty standard port of the arcade version that we just played, I would say. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Let's just quickly look at what the 100 screen mode is. Oh, you can resume it because it has a password. I see. Okay. I'm not going to get very far, but all right. Oh, he's got some dialogue. He's like, "Oh, I'm closed in." And we're the boss, I guess. We're the Oyabun. So he's basically like it's like a challenge mode to try to like be good at this game to free the Cosmo Gang, which I am not the guy you want for this. With exclamation marks. You should, yeah, absolutely start putting exclamation marks in your name to emphasize your importance. Let's see, is that... I feel like that could be an okay move. And they made like I feel like a different sound than they did before, right? Yeah, I am not going to be able to help these poor guys. Because boy, when you talk about even situational problem solving in this, even in like a puzzle game that I'm better at, like, does not work out for me too well, generally speaking. Can I get you guys there? Okay. Column, but the problem is now... Yeah, I don't really have a good way of clearing them out. So, like, someone who's good at that game could that's probably a pretty fun mode for you. All right. So let's do this. Oh, Chibi UFO, you're back. All right, we just got done with the puzzle. We're gonna look at one more Famitsu real quick. And then we're gonna go back for a little bit more Cosmo Gang the video, because we had some folks just join us. And I feel like we should really show them, at least briefly, the part that they missed. I mean, I credit fed through Cosmo Gang the video, the arcade version, but we did clear it. All right. I played the sound earlier, but we're going to play it again. Hold on. I think I passed it.
Famitsu check.
Have I practiced all the moves? Let's just say that you're going to have to be happy with like 5 or 6 hit Ray combos, because I started practicing a little and I was like, oh, this is an anime fighter and I am not used to the way anime fighters move anymore. So you're going to see it on Thursday, but y'all will have to forgive my skills because they ain't good. I would need much more time to practice to give you like a really good showing of that game that I just do not have. The Hokuto no Ken Fist of the North Star fighting game for the arcade, so the Arc System Works one, is going to be up on Thursday as our first game on deck. And please don't expect extremely skilled play out of me for it. I'm giving my warning now, I guess. It's been a long time since I played anime fighters, and I need to get used to them again. I can definitely demo the fundamentals for you, but I just can't particularly execute them super well. All right, let's get through this Famitsu, shall we? Sim Ant! Who here loves Sim Ant? Do we have any Sim Ant fans in the crowd here today? We've got 7, 7, 8, and a 7 for Sim Ant. I've never played Sim Ant. I have, of course, played Sim City. Yes. Oh, Chibi UFO. I should have known we'd be on the same page as this. That Batman Returns Super Famicom game is amazing. And I've got a ways until I get to it on scrolling down the belt, but I cannot wait. I love Batman Returns. 7, 8, 8, both the film and the game, to be honest. It is a good beat 'em up. It is one of my favorites. It came a little late, and so I feel like it didn't get all the respect that it deserves. But it is the film is still my favorite Batman movie. Oh, it has Goemon. Ah, of course, that explains it. Oh yes, Batman Returns SNES is way better than the Genesis. Way better than the Genesis. And when I will promise you that when we get to that on scrolling down the belt, I will find whatever it takes for me to cut in Danny DeVito saying, "I'm playing this city like a harp from hell." I will take it because that is going in that video. I don't care how hard I have to shoehorn it in. It's going to happen. All right. What is this? Reading Company for the Super Famicom, which is another Koei sim, which got 7785. Oh, extremely so. I am 100% on the same page with you for that. It's just it's very queer and like just a weird movie, like in general, right? Let's see here. Etsunobu Ebisu is one of the people behind Batman Returns. No, I did not know that it had such DNA, and that does explain a lot about it. But can anyone explain NBA Pro Basketball Blues versus Blazers? This got shockingly good scores. 887. Well, not from 4. Who's our 4? Is that Taco X? Is that you? Oh no, it's not. But it somebody gave it a 4, but like also other people gave it an 8. So that's an EA game, EA Victor. BattleTech, which is definitely a Western property. BattleTech for the Super Famicom. I'm familiar with the BattleTech property. I am not familiar with the game. I've never played it. But that got 8776. I cannot tell you if that is any type of a good game whatsoever. Yeah, was BattleTech I thought that was a separate thing from MechWarrior, but maybe I'm wrong. This is Bato no Fushigi na Yume no Boken. So it might be Bart's Nightmare, but maybe they localized it weird because it's like Bart's Strange Dream Big Adventure is essentially what it translates into. Like they definitely have Akumu, they have a word for nightmare, or you just hear Naitomea. But yeah, who gave this a 9? This is like a crime. Who is the second? Who is this? Boy, I don't exactly know the reading for those kanji, so you'll have to forgive me. But I cannot believe that game was given a 9? A 9? And I mean, 6 and 7s are pretty good, better than it deserves. But a 9 is just fucking what? Cosmo Gang the Puzzle got 7868, pretty respectable. We'll go and read some of the reviews in a minute. What is this? Is this a Takeda? No, that's not the kanji for Takeda Shingen, is it? Let's see. That is not the. That is. Oh, that's Nobunaga, isn't it? Is it? Why am I like floundering on my historical figure names here? Let's see here. This was right. Yeah, this was Oda Nobunaga. So this was, but I don't think this is not Nobunaga's ambition. This is something else. This is something else for the Super Famicom from Angel, not from Koei. Yeah, I might agree with that too. I might agree that with the idea that most North American people tend to poop on puzzle games that aren't Tetris. Nobunaga's Diner. Yes, welcome to Nobunaga's Diner. Can we get you the ham and eggs? Nobunaga's favorite breakfast, ham and eggs. 7676. Nobunaga's Diner. I hope there's a Nobunaga's Diner somewhere in Japan. That would be pretty amazing. Biomiracle Bokte Upa. That's a pretty solid game. That was a Famicom Disk System game. And the Nobunaga, yeah, the Nobunaga Omurice. Easy on the ketchup. Biomiracle Bokte Upa. So it's like Biomiracle, I'm Upa. Was originally a Famicom Disk System, I believe. And this is the cartridge version that came like much later, because this is 1993, keep in mind. So this might have been the cartridge version, kind of like Castlevania got a cartridge version in Japan like way later. Also an original Famicom Disk System game, that sort of thing. Got a 6576. I wonder what the original Disk System version got. Maybe it's different. USA Ice Hockey in FC. I don't know what NFC means exactly, but Pro Sport Hockey. Okay, this was a Famicom game from Jalico, apparently, or at least published by Jalico. 5653. What else? Police Connection. I don't know, on the PC Engine CD-ROM, got a 554 and 3. Oh, it has an NHLPA license? I wonder if that carried over or not. I feel like there's at least player names, like real player names, but maybe not. What is this? What is that? Oria, Tairiku Oria. I'm trying to get the reading for this. What is the reading for this game? Oriru. I'm sorry, I got that slightly wrong. Aurelia. Let's see here. Don't think I've heard of this one. I'm coming up. Genso Tairiku Aurelia. Okay. A PC Engine CD-ROM game that looks like it. Is this a it must be like an action RPG or something, right? Yes, indeed. From Taito, or once again, at least published by Taito. 565 and 4. And we have a game we haven't gotten to on scrolling down the belt yet. Crest of Wolf from Hudson on the PC Engine CD-ROM, which is definitely a beat 'em up. 6555. Let's see here. What else have we got before we get to Cosmo Gang the Puzzle? Horror Story on the PC Engine CD-ROM. Got a 6455. We've also got Majin Saga, maybe? Like S-A-G-A Saga. S-A-G-A Saga. Any Hanawa fans out there? Probably not. On the Mega Drive. 7768, or anyone who used to live in Saga Prefecture. Oh, I am, Maddie. I have a whole thing planned. I know this is like typical streamer, like a lull. Of course you're going to do this in October, but I am going to try and learn some one credit clears of several Castlevania games and maybe play. Do those qualify as scary to you? Maybe, maybe not. But I will try and put some horror stuff in there too, for sure. Hi, copycat IDFKR, unless you were just spamming hi, in which case you are going to be kicked out of here. But hello, if you are legitimately just saying hi. Ooh, sweet. I've actually never played Sweet Home before, so that might actually be kind of a fun one. That's not a bad idea. I like that as an idea. Castlevanias and Sweet Home. That's all. All right. This is what are we doing here, people? Let's see. How do I do thing? I do thing by doing that. No. That. Bye-bye. 1 million. Yeah, I could do some I could do some Resident Evils too. That would be fun. There are some of those retro ones that I really liked. Yeah, those are all great ideas, but yes, I'm going to do the streamer thing where I play at least vaguely scary games in October, because how scary really is a Castlevania? Honestly, I just want an excuse to play more Castlevania. And Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon is going to happen too. So yes, October cannot come quickly enough. Let's see here. Horror Story. Majin Saga 7768. I can't remember if I read those scores or not. G-Lock for the Mega Drive. I wonder how that version of G-Lock was. I mean, when I think of G-Lock, I just think of being spun around in an R360 for the most agonizing 90 seconds of my life, and not and not a Sega Genesis game. It probably was not the most agonizing 90 seconds of my life. That's probably a little much. But Wanpaku Graffiti. Yeah, we've got Splatterhouse in there. We've got a lot of really, really good options for October. I don't think y'all will be disappointed. But September's coming up quick, so I gotta start planning that schedule out. Yeah, that R360 video is my best performing video by like a lot, actually. And it was, I guess I haven't managed to make a thing quite like it again, but it's not going to stop me from trying. Enerjax, by the way, did the camera work for a lot of that. And also wrote it, though that was not pictured in the video. She can share her experience with that, with the R360 with you if she wants to. It's a pretty amusing story. But this version of G-Lock got 7767, so like probably pretty respectable for what I'm assuming has to be a pretty compromised version of that game. Speaking of probably pretty compromised versions of games, Takahashi Meiji no Bokenjima 3, aka Adventure Island 3, on the Game Boy. I did not know that they made up to the third one for the Game Boy. Got a 6654. And also on the Game Boy is Bato no Sabaibaru Kyampu. What was this game called in English? It couldn't have been called Bart's Survival Camp. It couldn't have. On the Game Boy, 4546. And this is more what I would expect a Simpsons game of that era to get. These scores, not a 9. Like a 9 is absurd to give almost any kind of a Simpsons game. Bart's Escape from Camp Deadly, thank you. I like Bart's Survival Camp better. Can we call it Bart's Survival Camp from now on? That's a better name. All right. We're almost to the end here, and we'll circle back up to the puzzle. Yeah, if it's a Simpsons game, he just gives it a 9, right? Oni 3, also a Game Boy title, got better scores than Bart's Survival Camp did, 6766. What is this? Burning paper? Okay. Also on a Game Boy, and also on the Game Boy. Oh, Super Roboto no Burning Manga. Oh, this is like something to do with like a super robot property? Huh. Okay. 4544, not good. But we've also got Wimbledon for the Game Gear, which of course is a tennis game, 6755. And on the PC Engine Super CD-ROM, we also have Nobunaga's Diner. Light on the ketchup, easy on the ketchup, please. 7766. All right, Bart's Survival Camp does need a reissue. I am beginning the campaign to retroactively change the name of this game to Bart's Survival Camp. That's it. It has to happen. It's just a better name. All right, let's see how, before we go back to the video here to show our latecomers here, let's see how Cosmo Gang the Puzzle did in Famitsu. It got a couple of 8s, and the lowest score was a 6, so like pretty good. We'll pick one of these 8s here. We'll pick the score from the man who gave, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? That's Bart's survival camp. We'll pick the one from the man who gave... Why can't I find it now? Bart's Nightmare a 9, which was the second guy here, which is insane that game got a 9. But here we are. Where it is. So we'll pick his 8. So next, I'm not going to do the Pack Attack version. I want to go back and do Cosmo Gang, the video, again, just for the late joining folks. And maybe we'll go back again and show the original game real quick, too. Just so apologies for people who were here from the beginning. We're going to do an abbreviated version of it, just so... There were some people here who were very excited to learn about Cosmo Gang, the video. And I want to make sure they get their money's worth, as it were. So... Ubersaurus, would you give it a 9, though? Would you give it a 9 on the Famitsu scale? Like, standing up for it is one thing, but giving it a 9 just seems insane. Like, in a magazine that gave, like, Shin Megami Tensei 1 a 9. I'm not trying to, like, dump on Bart's Nightmare. I'm just saying, like, does it deserve a 9? That seems crazy. All right. Okay. Let's see here. Several years Namco Dashi, so like an older formula falling block puzzle game from Namco. Relatively speaking, it has a pretty good feeling 2-player mode, which is very important for a game in this genre. And he goes on to say that these characters, you know, they're cute characters, so they'll probably go over well, you know, with the female crowd. And so it might it might be a game, how to put it, that could be used for, you know, a date. Like, you know, if you're bringing your date back home and, you know, you want to have some fun with some video games, it might be a good date game. And the 100 screen mode that you can do in 1 player is, you know, also good for that as well. So just sort of extolling its very obvious virtues. If SMT can get a 9, then Bart's Nightmare deserves a 9. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. And so how about our lower score for our 6? Let's see here. So there's 2 different modes that are for 1 player. And both of them are a little iffy, they say, though I wonder if they give a reason for it. Okay, the biggest reason for that, hold on a second, let me G-show, because I want to know what the biggest reason for that is. I think he's definitely Yukai-kan. Is that Yukai-kan? Give me one moment. Okay, yes, it's refreshing. Okay, so did I misread the part dochira mo imaichi? Which, if I remember what imaichi means, yeah, are not very good. Oh, I see. Okay, I missed the nasa kana part. So it's like the lack of they're not refreshing. The lack of being refreshing. But the 2-player mode, apparently, according to them, slightly resembles Puyo Puyo. So I guess that's a point in its favor. And then the characters who fall down on... Seeing the characters fall down on your opponent's side is very cute. Yeah, because you didn't really have junk in 1 player. So it would be interesting to see what junk looks like in this game. Like, are the Cosmo Gangs, or are they new characters that are like falling down as junk on the other player side? We'll have to test that out sometime. Let's see. But let's see. After them doing the akanbei, the bleh, you know, the tongue thing is afterward is frustrating, they say, but with a laugh under it. So obviously a joke. And they really would recommend the 2-player mode. So apparently the 2-player mode is where it's at in this game. So that's it for Famitsu, but let's do a little, let's do a victory lap here, shall we? We'll go back to the arcade version. We might as well get the version that has slightly clearer speech samples if we're going over and doing this again. All right. So this was, well, if we have time, maybe even we'll go back and look at the other one briefly, but we'll go. Should we do we did the English one earlier. Should we do the Japanese one for, actually, I don't think, I'm using Final Burn Neo for this, so I think Cosmo Gang, the video, is the only one for the US one. So we'll just do the US one. That's fine. All right, let's see here. We're on 4x3. We're on RetroArch. This should work. Maybe this core on RetroArch has like a weird delay in terms of it showing up on the thing here. Turn this down a little bit. Okay, OBS, what you do? What you do, OBS? Why are you not showing up here yet? Why, oh why? We're getting probably the sound, but we're getting probably not the video. All right, hold on. Let me go into studio mode here real quick. One moment. Please stand by. Let me go into RetroArch. Okay, it's visible. It's visible. Do I have something else up that's like going over it in visibility? I don't. At least not that I can see. It's visible, so it ought to be showing. Let's see. Maybe if I go back to this, let's just try doing some mode transitions here just to see if I can give this thing a kick in the pants here. Okay, I don't know why that mattered and why that made a difference, but here we are. All right, they're stealing energy. All right, let's credit up here. We won't go for as long here, but it is a Galaga-like, of course. But honestly, I think Galaga with a little more personality, right? Like, how can you not love these little guys? Exactly, just look at them. They want your energy. Well, they don't want your energy yet. Those are in the bonus levels. We'll get there. Yeah, voice samples, you gotta love the voice samples. Of them cackling and like the boss going, I'll get you next time, or whatever he says. I give up. He gives up very easily for being the boss of the Cosmo Gang. It turns out. I mean, it might be. Oh no. I give up. I give up. Go. Exactly. This is the gang to join right here. Yep, Namco. They do have a history of sort of resting on their laurels at times. But I think Cosmo Gang the video was not one of those times. Come on, bird guy. Where are you at? There we go.
Okay, you guys.
Yep. They're coming to steal the energy now. So these are the bonus levels, which honestly are probably the most charming part of the game, right? No. Don't touch my energy, Cosmo Gang. No. Got him.
We'll win next time.
We'll win next time. Now, Interjex, do you understand why I wanted one of these guys to go in the Don piece? Now you understand, right? Goodbye, Cosmo Gang. You're not getting that energy. Unfortunately, they take away your power-ups after the bonus stage, which is not great, but you deal. Oh no. I would like that. No! You did not... Jerk. I wanted the double. Oh god. I wonder if there is a reason why this wasn't on any of the Namco Museum compilations. That's a great question. If there is one, I do not know. Let all these jerks come down. Oh, that's a few too many to deal with at once. Not gonna try and do him, not when he's that close. And so, like, a lot of Galaga strategies apply, but, like, this game gets way more memorization heavy than Galaga later. Like, way more memorization heavy than Galaga. Like, Galaga, you can kind of get by on vibes, right? Like, if you're good enough at it. This game cuts you off from that quicker than you would think. I give up. Yeah, it is definitely oozing with style in a way that, like Galaga-likes were kind of out of fashion by this point, so it's pretty surprising that Namco, you know, managed to pull this one off like they did. I'll show the boss before we wrap this one, too. 15-year-old me had played this on the 7800, right? Yeah, totally. Oh no, oh god. Okay, there's a 1-up though. And so the thing and then we get the laser guys, which is now, here's where the nightmares begin. No, here we don't go. I'm so sorry. I wonder what the voice samples would have sounded like on the 7800, though. On the 7800, probably not that bad. I'm not here to talk trash about the 7800. That's the 5200. I'm gonna get... Oh, okay, good. Okay, good. All right. And like you can see, like the formations are just getting way faster now. And it's just getting a little... It's getting a little harder to manage. And by the time you get into the 20s and 30s, like, God help you, basically. I've got some save states for those two that I can go to if we end up needing to. But like by level 11, this is what you're getting. It's already becoming, you know, more frantic. But at least you have kind of these power-ups to get you out of jams. I'm so sorry. Yes, I would like your... No, please come back! Please come back, Oyabun. I want your double shot. So badly. Yeah, and then you get like these power-ups that help you deal with them because they kind of freeze for a little while. Yeah, you're sorry. No. Okay. No. Now it's just this jerk left. There he goes.
Okay, you guys, steal energy.
Oh my gosh, I've never seen this one before. I thought this was the Western one. I've never seen them do the, oh my gosh. Is this random? Are there multiple ones that you can get? Or like based on your score or something? I've never seen this version of this bonus level. Yeah, 95 was kinda, there definitely is something that's a little bit more this aesthetic. They do contain multitudes. There's a Western one where they're like dressed up as cowboys that I thought usually came after that. I've never seen that one before. I always get the cowboy ones.
I give up.
Really makes me wonder what that's based on. Okay. Yeah, I think it is 95. Yeah, those Space Invaders games get less like the original Space Invaders as they go on, but like that's not always a bad thing, you know? Because they really get some character too. Oh boy. You guys all coming down at once is not great. Okay, there we go. Cosmo Gang the sequel? I like the way you think. And now the containers begin. Which sucks, honestly. Because you gotta... Like, this is where I feel like they really start getting hard on you. Like, you really gotta kind of pull out those shooter skills, which... apparently mine are not sufficient enough. Though I almost got it. But yeah, it just kind of keeps getting harder and harder from here for the most part. But like, for as much as I just love, like regular old Galaga, I don't know, like, this is just kind of a slightly cooler version of it, I feel like. So like, I might take this over a Galaga. It's just got that extra something, you know? Good lord. Yep, I was gonna say, I'm amazed I held out that long, to be honest. Abune, abune. Ah! Doesn't have enough bonus cowboy rounds. The Cosmo sauce is strong. Yeah, I was actually thinking about looking up the price of the Super Famicom port was pretty good. And seeing kind of what that runs. Let me see if, did I do a save state? Let me look at my save states and see if I can find the Western one. Hold on. This is where? What level is this? Okay, never mind. This is, I'll go back more than this. So Gang 20 would it have been after this? No, it would have been before this, right? All right, hold on. Because I was doing save states for different levels to practice. There's 18, 17. I'm trying to find the last bonus level. Bear with me. Okay, whatever. Let's just go from 7 here real quick. I should be able to do this real quick. And then I'll show you some of the crazy ass later levels and like just how brutal this game gets. It does not mess around. Galaga has, that's Galactic Dancing, but that's not even the original Galaga. Oh yeah, you can get these other weapons sometimes that like fire out like this. They're very slow, but they stay on screen for a really long time and they just go all the way up. So you have even some kind of interesting variants. Not too many different types of weapons. I think there's maybe only that one. And then there's that freezes them. I might have gotten that earlier. I might not have. I don't recall. No, here we don't go. Yeah, you are. Yeah, they're definitely easier to pick off when they get up at the top. All right, let's see what this bonus round is. Is this the first? I thought it was every 10? Am I wrong? Maybe I was wrong about the sequence. Oh, he was one of the ones that was circling back up from behind. Yeah, the ones that circle up from behind are tricky to remember sometimes. No, no. Okay. I forgot the laser guy was still on the screen. All right, is it after 20? Or where, hold on, where is, how many, when do the bonus rounds even happen? What levels are... let's see, 4, 12. Okay, so I gotta go one more. All right, 4, 12, 20, and 28. All right. Oh, God. I'll credit feed my way through to this. 'Cause I want to... I should... It should be the Western one on this one. But that's crazy. I really did not know that there were multiple possibilities. Yeah, it's always that, should you go in for the risk of the descending guys or not? And, often I make the wrong call. Just as I'm about to lose it, after the bonus stage. Thanks. Alright, this should be the bonus stage? Question mark? 12? Okay, they're... Oh, after completing. Okay. I misread it. So we have to finish this one, and then it should be the bonus stage. All right. We gotta get him... There we go. All right, this.
Okay, you guys, steal energy.
How is this? It must be random. I swear when I was save stating this, it was not this, it was the Western one. Today I learned. All right, let's take a look at some of the later levels. I'm so sorry. All right, let's go like way up here to like level 30. And you can just kind of see like what sort of insanity this turns into. Two laser guys and the boss, for starters. And the exploding things. And yes, the legally distinct Death Star also. Don't forget about that. So, like, it's a lot. There's a lot going on in these later levels, and they get really, really tough. And yeah, I'd have to practice a bunch to keep, All right, let's go. Let's show people the last boss here real quick. Here's the last boss. You ready? It's like Don Cosmo, I think his name is. We. Those rocks, I'm not 100% sure how you're... I guess probably... I mean, I'm not powered up here, so I guess probably double shot would really help. You're supposed to go into this guy powered up, though God help you, because the last level before him is just... It's brutal. He definitely is a bit drunk. I would 100% believe that about him. Yeah, and like you got 4 dragons, and you've got these fire things that are spawning, and so it just gets really crazy. And yep, you can only go under the fire things at a certain time. So like, if you're sort of playing it safe, like it takes a while. And like, he has several phases. He has more phases after this even. Ah, nope. I cut under it going the wrong way. So I believe the rule is when it rotates down once, you're good to go. No, and see, they get so fast and all over the place. And then what, lightning? Yeah. Now you get lightning. Oh, no. And like with all these guys coming down in swarms too, like, whew. Oh, that's a good question. That's a really good question. I don't know, Ebaribu is pretty OP. I feel like he might have a real chance. I mean, would Don Cosmo know what to do with someone kicked a ball at him? I mean, I'm not sure that he would. All right, and then his last phase is like stars. Which if you shoot them too many times, they shoot back at you. So the idea is the one in front of you, you want to only try to shoot once if you can. Or dodge it, which I did not successfully do there. But they start coming out way faster. Because of course they do. And soon enough, it just feels like you're not really doing any damage on him at all. And you're just dodging around stars. So, I don't know. I gotta watch more Super Play videos of this. I would like to learn a 1cc of this. It's just not trivial. And then this is exactly how the Death Star exploded in Star Wars. I remember it very well. I'm sure you all do too. It just kind of broke into pieces like that, right? Absolutely. All right, you know what? Let's go full circle. Since we're getting ready to wrap up here. So like we were saying earlier in the stream that this was all from a redemption game. So
Come on, Doubting.
come on. I'm trying to figure out how to figure out a way to work Cosmo Gang into there, and that's come on Cosmo just isn't really doing it for me. All right, let's go to the original redemption game that this was based on. And of course I can't wheel in a version of that redemption game for you, for as much as I would like to say that I could. But luckily there was a DS collection that had a sort of version of this on there. It was on one of the Point Blank games for the DS. And so earlier on we played this. Once I switch it over. Now here's the question. Is it me switching over to everything that OBS is finicky about? No, it switched over to this one pretty quickly. I don't know, maybe it was just something to do with RetroArch. Who's really even to say? Point Blank, you know, kind of like gun shooting games. Obviously, this is the DS. It's going to be all stylish, but it had a games museum section in it. Which, maybe I turned that sound down too much. Hold on. There we go. That has Cosmo Gang the video in it. Sorry, not Cosmo Gang the video. Cosmo Gang, the original. So, like, their stealing energy thing comes from here. You can imagine what this would look like as a ticket dispensing redemption machine, right? Energyを盗んでこい. Hi! And you gotta shoot these jerks in their mouths. I'm shooting you in the mouth. Why are you not... But of course, once you lose it, it's hard to gain it back. Unless you're like me and you're just able to click a mouse really fast. Are, I assume is what they're saying there, as they're getting blasted back. I wish Pinball Pete's had it. It would be a closer place I could go to film it. A place in Atlanta has it? From what I understand, I'd have to go and look up the name. But I would like to do a Cosmo, like an actual proper Cosmo Gang video one day and like film an original one of these cabinets working. That would be super fun. So a while back, I was tracking down some places that were known to have it. Saigo no komageki da! And so they're moving faster. It's their last attack. Go! Get out of here. You can't have my energy. Can't have it. There we go. Yeah, his Japanese voice is great too.
It's showtime.
It's showtime. They do a little dance. Apparently that's what the Cosmo Gang does when they lose. He's great. I would say one of the greatest characters that Namco has ever created. Forget it, Pac-Man. Who cares about Pac-Man? We got Cosmo Gang. Why did they abandon the Cosmo Gang? Who really can say? We had some good information in chat earlier that it was either Point Blank 2 or 3 on the PS1 does have Don Cosmo in it. So he apparently was used by Namco later, because PS1, it would have been after, 92, 94 when those arcade games came out. But I mean, there hasn't been another Cosmo Gang game since the puzzle one in 1993, right? So they've effectively abandoned them, unfortunately. But I don't know why. Maybe they didn't do the numbers Namco wanted. Who can really say? Yeah, it's very disappointing that Cosmo Gang isn't a part of the USGF timeline. I agree. Where was the Cosmo Gang comic next to gosh, what were some of the ones that they did? Wonder Momo. Yeah, and I mean, also, why not Wonder Momo? What happened to Wonder Momo? Like, there's so many Namco characters that have been abandoned by the wayside for all effective purposes. I guess Wonder Momo had like a bad mobile game or something many, many years ago now, but Cosmo Gang didn't get one of those, did they? Why not? Why not? Justice for the Cosmo Gang, I say. All right. Well, with that, I need to get things wrapped up here. Genpei Tomaden is I agree, that's also an underused Namco property. They don't do nearly enough with that. Good night, Momo. Good night, Cosmo. Well, yeah, good night, everyone. I will, of course, be back on Thursday as usual. We got more Fist of the North Star games. We've got the Arc System Works fighting game coming up, of which I will not be able to demonstrate infinites for you. We'll have to watch some videos to see that. You'll get good 5, 6, 7 hit Ray combos out of me and probably no more. Oh, thank you. The best, or I don't know about the best retro streamer, but I appreciate the compliment. We're going to have that. We're going to have probably the DS game, and I'm working on a surprise. I don't know if I'll have it ready by Thursday because of technical issues, but it is a Fist of the North Star related surprise. And no, I have not bought a Punch Mania machine, unfortunately. I wish that were the surprise, but it isn't. But it is another kind of surprise that even if we don't have ready for Thursday, I hope to have ready before the Fist of the North Star streams end. So until a couple days from now, bye-bye.